Today is Friday, May 8th. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
Warehouse workers in South St. Louis are striking over
what we always call in the industry boilerplate contract language.
I'm Brad Choate. Hear more from a Teamsters local official about the impasse with Breakthrough Beverages in just a bit.
I'm Megan Lynch.
This is KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer. Coming up, St. Louis native and former New York Archbishop Cardinal Timothy Dolan reflects on the Vatican meeting between Pope Leo and Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Some sunshine will give way to increasing clouds today, becoming breezy and warmer with a shower and thunderstorm around this afternoon. Our high 74.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The U.S. and Iran exchange fire again in the Persian Gulf.
They better sign their agreement fast.
President Trump, after the Pentagon says a trio of American destroyers was targeted in the Strait of Hormuz before U.S. forces returned fire. The BBC's Yolande Nell is monitoring from Jerusalem.
The U.S. military said it intercepted Iranian attacks on 3 Navy ships. These were unprovoked Iranian attacks. And it said that in response, it targeted Iranian military facilities. None of its ships were hit. The Iranian version of events is that U.S. forces targeted an Iranian oil tanker in its coastal waters and a second vessel.
The United Arab Emirates says it fended off Iranian attacks overnight. The average for a gallon of regular gas in the U.S. today down a penny from yesterday to an average $4.55 a gallon. We'll see if soaring prices are having an effect on the jobs market when the government releases its April report next hour. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
So far, the war in the Middle East and rising gas prices have not had any significant impact on the labor market. If high gas prices persist, there could be some changes in the labor market, but that remains to be seen.
Almost 100 people, including 17 Americans, are still on that luxury cruise liner that suffered a deadly hantavirus outbreak. They're expected to drop anchor off the Canary Islands Sunday. Dozens of others got off on an island in the South Atlantic. Dr. William Schaffner, Vanderbilt University, on fears of a mass spread.
The risk really is extraordinarily low. I think this is a well-confined episode that is focused on people who were on this cruise ship.
The learning platform Canvas is mostly back up and running after a cyber attack.
Thousands of universities and K-12 schools use Canvas to manage assignments, grades, and lecture videos. The hacking group Shiny Hunters claimed responsibility for the attack on Canvas's parent company, Instructure, which knocked Canvas offline for hours, disrupting final exams at many schools. Sacramento State senior Michael Lee Chang is supposed to graduate in a couple of weeks.
I'm already anxious enough, and now I'm unable to do my assignments, and no one really knows what's going on.
Instructure says Canvas is available for most users again. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Possible change at the post office. CBS's Jim Krasula.
The United States Postal Service is considering a rule change that would allow anyone to send handguns through the mail for the first time in nearly 100 years. A 1927 law prohibits the shipment of handguns through the Postal Service unless they are from licensed retailers.
This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Morning.
This is a slam dunk.
So cute.
Gail came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings.
At 6:03, we have clear skies, 50 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Friday, May 8th. I'm Megan Lynch.
And I'm Debbie Monterrey. A judge is now deciding the fate of the St. Louis Police Department's budget following the conclusion of yesterday's closing arguments. The lawsuit centers on the 2025 state law that stripped the city of its police oversight and handed it to a state-appointed board with a minimum level of funding required from the city.
Testifying this week, Police Union President Martin Garcia said City Hall control left officers without basic resources.
I just think in general, there's been a lack of investment in infrastructure for the department and a lack of investment in the policemen themselves.
But the residents suing argue that Missouri cannot legally force St. Louis to pay for a state-mandated board. They also stress that voters voted to manage their own police force in 2012. Plaintiff Jamala Rogers says removing that municipal authority makes the city an unfair exception.
St. Louis and St. Louis, St. Louis and Kansas City are the only two cities that don't have local control. So
Something seems fundamentally wrong with that picture.
Both sides have until June 1st to file their final written briefs.
We will work tirelessly to defeat any attempts to defund the police.
That is Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway in Jefferson City after the police control trial's closing arguments.
Today's arguments further validated the strength of our case. We're honored to defend and support law enforcement, both inside the courtroom and in the community.
Mayor Spencer says she does not want to defund the police, but is worried that escalating brand new costs could force tough decisions elsewhere. She was called to testify in this week's Arch City Defenders case against state control, which is separate from this case against it.
An enormous amount of additional work having a state-controlled police board has caused the city of St. Louis the far additional costs and legal, a whole host of things.
Spencer has been at odds with the state police board ever since it claimed its spending amount was mandated by state law earlier this year.
A Jennings man has received 13 years in prison after a repeated domestic firearm offense. Previously convicted felon 40-year-old Jarrell Allman was sentenced Wednesday after shooting his ex-girlfriend and engaging in a 3-hour police standoff in February of last year. The sentence marks Allman's fourth conviction involving a firearm. It's one of what was referred to in court as a long string of domestic crimes he committed.
A Central Illinois man is found guilty of sexually assaulting a random woman he targeted in a Starbucks drive-through lane.
The encounter happened on Veterans Day 2022 in Collinsville. Then 28-year-old Timothy Dubois told police in a taped interview he picked Starbucks because it's popular with women and that his 21-year-old victim could have been anyone. Investigators found evidence that shows Dubois forced the woman to drive to a remote Troy, Illinois location, sexually assaulted her, then drove her back to the parking lot. Dubois allegedly told the victim he deserved to have sex with her on Veterans Day because he served in the military. Brad Choate, KMOX News.
MoDOT is challenging private contractors and traffic engineers to find the fastest, safest ways to execute the massive I-70 rebuild. The statewide expansion has caused major headaches for commuters navigating the barricaded lanes, but project director Eric Kopinski says the total teardown is necessary to prepare the corridor for the next 30 to 40 years of traffic.
As you travel across the state, you didn't know how long it would take. Our pavement out there on I-70 is some of the oldest in the country. The original concrete pavement was placed in the early 50s and 60s, so it's at the end of its useful life, and many of the bridges that you travel over are getting at the end of their useful life. So again, as you're traveling from Wentzville all the way over to Kansas City, you're going to see a much better, much more reliable driving experience. We're also seeing, in addition to this, and this is kind of outside the MoDOT purview, but there's a lot of economic growth that's already starting to happen because of this.
He tells KMOX's Dave Glover show the result will be a seamless, predictable drive across Missouri that safely allows big trucks to bring more business exchange to the state.
From the KMOX business desk, the 61-member Teamsters at Breakthrough Beverage, Missouri's St. Louis operation are on strike. Local 688 says after months of negotiations, workers hit the picket lines, refusing to accept a contract that falls short of Teamsters standards. Strikers say they're seeking fair wages and stronger worker protections.
Breakthrough Beverage is a North American beverage wholesaler that employs 9,000 people in 15 U.S. states and in Canada. Its local operation used to be known as Major Brands.
It is going on 6:08. We'll take a break here, and when we come back, we'll have traffic and weather for you and more on the continuing cleanup of Kinloch.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's ruffgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's ruffgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Let's see how things are moving on the roads this morning. Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, no complaints out there right now, Megan. Lighter traffic on Friday morning, so we're looking good. In fact, the delays we had, there was a brief jam, then it was a slowdown. Now it's completely gone. And MoDOT says, yeah, they picked up that overnight work I was mentioning, the delays. Southbound 55 to Rivas, so you look fine there. Northbound 55 coming up from Festus is wide open all the way past that Rivas area to all the interstate construction zones look good. 270 north of 64 to Ladue, 70 coming in from out Warrenton way on the Illinois side, 64 through 159 in Fairview Heights, everything good to go. This is the hour, though. They're scheduled to start some new road work, just a daytime problem. Eastbound 270 from 203 to 111, and also the 111 exit is going to be closed this hour. He said through this evening, so hard to say when they'll wrap up. I mean, I would hope it's by 4 or 5 o'clock, but it could run later, so it may impact your evening commute. Eastbound would be busier in the afternoons than it would be in the mornings, but we'll keep an eye on it for you now as well. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Some sunshine will give way to clouds today. It'll become breezy and warmer this afternoon with a high of 74, but watch out for a couple of showers and a thunderstorm this afternoon and evening. There could be some downpours, gusty winds, and hail with any thunderstorm. Then clearing later tonight, though, 53. Tomorrow, sunshine and some clouds and warmer, high 82. Much cooler Sunday, cloud and a couple of showers followed by some afternoon sun. Sunday's high just 67. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, it's breezy out there, sunny, and 50 degrees downtown.
I'm Joe Pott. Matthew Liberatore and a trio of Cards relievers get it done last night in San Diego. Those details straight ahead.
More news now at 6:12. Another chapter in Boeing's big year in St. Louis. Here's KMOX's Michael Calhoun.
We've covered the manufacturing boom and the return of the defense headquarters from D.C. Now the company is turning to community investment. Boeing says it'll put money and employees behind a cleanup effort in Kinloch, the historic North St. Louis County town that has spent decades fighting illegal dumping and disinvestment. Local leaders have said the cleanup could be critical to turning the page. We'll get more details later this morning.
The mayor is being upfront with North St. Louis. The Rams settlement money will not be enough. The tornado last May caused more than $2 billion in damage, cutting a mile-wide path through North St. Louis. Mayor Spencer's package puts $110 million towards tornado relief, as well as $30 million toward a water department she describes as in crisis.
The mayor is calling them catalytic investments, a starting point, not a solution.
Recognizing that the Rams dollars, while it is a large amount of money, is finite and can't possibly address all of the city's needs. It can't address the $700 million the water department needs. It can't address the decades of not having an adequate plan to invest in our streets and other infrastructure. It can't possibly revitalize entirely the downtown.
The mayor says she deliberately held off on allocating Rams money until the city understood what federal and state disaster funds would cover from the tornado. She also expects the business community to chip in with a match for downtown.
A new summer work program is giving priority to young adults impacted by the tornado.
The Summer Youth Empowerment Program places young adults between the ages of 19 and 24 in internships that fit their career goals. Program Director Alan Perkins says they're looking to employ 100 young adults in the area and that recruitment efforts are focused on youth affected by last year's tornado.
I mean, the cry is out there. You know, we've seen it everywhere. We've seen it, you know, on the news. We've seen it. We see the need. The need is definitely out there. And hey, we're hoping that we can serve even more.
Participating young adults can work up to 40 hours per week for 10 weeks and will earn $20 per hour. Perkins said the hope is that most of the internships will lead to full-time positions. Jade Aubrey, KMOX News.
It's a brand new book club concept from the St. Louis County Library, one for younger kids, ages 3 to 9.
We have story time, but this is more of like a kind of a traditional book club where there's a different book every month and we move it around to different branches. And also it's in the evening.
Kristen Sorth is director of the St. Louis County Library. She tells Total Information AM you need to register for the Youth Book Club online. The first date is May 14th at Grants View Branch.
And a sports story before sports. The Gateway Grizzlies are coming to your Odyssey app. Just type Gateway Grizzlies into the search bar.
Since August, we've been talking to them, and we're excited to give our fans an easier way to listen to our games if they can't come to the ballpark or watch it on the stream.
That's Grizzlies GM Kurt Ringkamp. The Grizzlies home opener is coming up on Tuesday.
And Debbie, I'll have an update on the Gateway Grizzlies coming up later this morning as well, because they actually opened their season on the road last night.
I haven't been to a Grizzlies game in years, but I would bring the kids when they were little because they had that playground and they could run around. It was great.
Fantastic spot to go for families. No question about it. Our Redbird Report is sponsored by Restoration One of Greater St. Louis. Cardinals opened a 7-game road trip last night in San Diego with some outstanding pitching.
The 0-2 pitch, breaking pitch, swung on and missed. He struck him out. Good start for Libby.
Matthew Liberatore started for the Redbirds. San Diego did get on the board using a walk and 2 hits with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. This is Xander Bogaerts.
Libby delivers a little check swing blooper down the right field line, and that's going to drop in front of Jordan Walker. And the throw comes into third base as the Padres take the lead on a bloop hit to right. He didn't mean to swing, but it got the job done. A base hit for Bogaerts. And with 2 outs, the Padres have struck here in the first inning, and they lead 1-0.
Libby faces the minimum over the next 2 innings. The Cardinals tie the game in the fourth with Alec Burleson.
He waits on the first pitch from King, and he golfs one down the right field line. Castellanos looks and watches it sail over the boards for a home run. Castellanos took 2 steps and looked at it, and it just kept going. And Alec Burleson has tied this ball game with a solo home run.
3 more quick innings in the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth for Liberatore. And then the Cardinals get on top in the seventh. Opens with Jordan Walker.
Oh, there's a pitch that Walker turns on down the left field line, and it is a double. And Jordan Walker will go into second base with a double. They hit off the wall. That ball almost got out.
And then it's Mason Wynn hitting with 1 out and Walker at second.
He checks the runner at second. That's Walker. Here's his pitch. And Wynn goes down the right field line. This has a chance to drop as Castellanos lets it go. It goes by him. Walker's going to score. Mason Wynn goes to second. He's going to go around and he's going to try and go to third. And Mason Wynn is going to go in with an RBI triple. And the Cardinals are on top.
2-1 Redbirds. And from there, it was up to the bullpen. George Soriano had the 7th. He gets some help after a leadoff single from Fernando Tatis Jr.
Tatis has his lead. Soriano comes to the plate. Runner going. Here's a throw down to second, and he is out. Great throw by Pedro Pajes.
Padres challenged, but the call was upheld. It's Jojo Romero in the 8th. He strikes out 1. It was Riley O'Brien in the 9th. He gets a ground out and a strikeout before he faces Manny Machado with 2 outs.
O'Brien is ready. The 2-1 pitch is grounded toward short. Mason Wynn has it. He throws over to first. And the Cardinals win the first game of the series here in San Diego. Riley O'Brien closes it out for save number 11. Matthew Liberatore picks up his 2nd victory of the year, his first against the Padres. And it was an absolute team effort here tonight in San Diego.
Game 2 is tonight, 8:40 first pitch, St. Louis time. Pregame coverage at 7:45. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs' attorneys. And for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-ALL-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based on advertising.
Your St. Louis Battlehawks are back at home Friday, May 8th at 7 p.m., taking on the Columbus Aviators. It's Friday Night Lights, and we're calling all high school and college students and teachers. Be one of the first 10,000 fans and score an exclusive Ricky Prohl bobblehead, courtesy of Kia. Bring the energy. Own the night. Grab your tickets now and pack the stands, because when the Battlehawks rise, St. Louis flies. Tickets at UFLBattlehawks.com.
Now the news. At 1, the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's now 6:20. Let's see where the slowdowns are on the roads. Roger Brand watching for you from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's not too much to worry about so far this morning, Megan. This traffic report's the Service of Financial and Tax Strategies coming up 55 from Festus up through the Merrimack. The only place I'm seeing delays now, starting to see a slowdown. Northbound 55, Weber up through Virginia is kind of busy. It actually bumper briefly right around Loughborough. We have a car fire on Bryan Road at 70, some restrictions there, but it looks like they're getting it put out pretty quickly. It looks like the engine compartment was fully engulfed as of a couple of minutes ago. And don't forget, they're scheduled to start this road work in this hour. Eastbound 270, 203 to 111. They're going to have the right lane closed and the exit ramp to 111 closed. So if you normally travel through that area, just be advised. You may want to think about an alternate route. So the alternate route, your USPS Ground Advantage reliable route, obviously interstate travel is to take 5570 east to 255 north up to 270 to avoid that restriction, or you can get off at 162 and go west to 111 from there if you need to get on 111 itself. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
Enjoy the sun that we're seeing right now and this morning, because we'll have increasing clouds as we head through the day. It'll be breezy and warmer with a high of 74, but by this afternoon, we could see a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. And those thunderstorms into the evening could produce some damaging winds, hail, and downpours. But tomorrow, some more sun than clouds with a high of 82. Right now, sunny and 49 degrees downtown.
More news now at 6:22. Former New York Archbishop and St. Louis native Cardinal Timothy Dolan says that Vatican meeting between Pope Leo and Secretary of State Marco Rubio gave both sides a chance to clarify their views over the war in Iran. KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer reports.
Cardinal Dolan tells Fox News there's no denying that nuclear weapons in the hands of fanatics is wrong. But the key question is, how do we stop that?
Now, the Holy See is always going to be on the side of diplomacy, strategy, negotiations. And I think that's all the Holy Father was saying, is that let's give that a chance, as I think the president is doing now, when you think about it. Let's give that a chance, and let's not further or exacerbate things with incendiary language. That's what he was saying.
Cardinal Dolan says the United States and the Vatican need each other and find themselves in agreement on many other issues, including putting an end to Christian persecution in Africa and working together on the distribution of humanitarian aid in Cuba. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
The learning platform Canvas is mostly back up and running after a cyber attack.
Thousands of universities and K-12 schools use Canvas to manage assignments, grades, and lecture videos. The hacking group Shiny Hunters claimed responsibility for the attack on Canvas's parent company, Instructure, which knocked Canvas offline for hours, disrupting final exams at many schools. Sacramento State senior Michael Lee Chang is supposed to graduate in a couple of weeks.
I'm already anxious enough, and now I'm unable to do my assignments, and no one really knows what's going on.
Instructure says Canvas is available for most users again. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Missouri regulators are still trying to determine how many Missourians may have been impacted by a massive data breach at a health insurance vendor. Conduent provides document processing services to insurance companies, including Blue Cross Blue Shield. Angela Nelson, director of the Missouri Department of Commerce and Industry, tells KMOX Conduent has provided very little information about who was impacted by the cyber attack.
I think the thing that's different about this one is the potential misuse of health insurance information. And so the one thing that I really want to emphasize with this one more than I would potentially other breaches is that Missourians really need to watch those EOBs, or explanation of benefit forms, that come from their health insurance plan, and go through those and check to make sure that what is coming through on those EOBs are actually their health insurance claims. Because what we could have happening is these bad actors could be using their personal information, their health insurance plan information, and either getting healthcare services or submitting bogus claims to their health insurance plan. And that's obviously a huge problem for everybody. So that's one angle to this particular one that I would want to highlight above everything else.
Let's say someone does get that explanation of benefits and they see something that looks fishy. Who do they reach out to?
They should be reaching out to their health insurance plan immediately, because their health insurance plan needs to know that there was a potentially fraudulent claim submitted to them. So I would tell them to look at the phone numbers on that EOB and reach out immediately to their health insurance plan and let them know.
We'll have more information on this morning at 8:10 here on KMOX.
With only a few weeks left in the legislative session, Missouri State Representative Don Mayhew is sure his bill, the Megan Meyer Act, won't make it to the finish line. He tells MissouriNet he's determined to bring it up again in the next session.
The proposal would require anyone younger than 16 to have their social media accounts created by their parents so they can be alerted to content. You may remember the name Megan Meyer.
Megan Meyer was a young lady who tragically ended up committing suicide because of what essentially boiled down to cyberbullying, and a lot of it was instigated by presence on social media.
Megan was only 13 when she died.
The city of St. Louis offering free summer camps to kids ages 6 through 12. The camps start June 1st. Lawrence from the city's recreational division says they've partnered with some local agencies to create fun opportunities.
Bread and Roses, we're going to bring them into our centers and create amazing murals. Circus Harmony, we're going to teach the kids circus acts, clowning around, acrobatics and things like that.
Summer camp kids will also get to learn golfing skills through another partnership. You can sign up on the City of St. Louis Summer Activities for Youth and Families webpage.
It's now 8:27, and this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Here in St. Louis, we take pride in supporting our health and our community. That's why more and more families are turning to Neovitin multivitamins, created by a local physician and made right here in the U.S. using the highest quality domestic and international ingredients. With formulas for men, women, and adults 50 plus, Neovitin helps keep St. Louis families energized, supported, and ready for life. Find Neovitin at your local Dierbergs, Schnucks, and online at neovitin.com. Neovitin. Trusted nutrition from St. Louis for St. Louis.
Bring your home back to life with Zero Res, a fresher clean that you can actually feel. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $139 and whole home air duct cleaning starting at just $599. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and tell them about the DGS KMOX deal.
It is now 6:30. We have sunshine on a breezy morning and 49 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Megan Lynch. And let's check in with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. How do the roads look?
Well, a little bit busier, Megan, but all in all, not bad. The place you're going to see delays is on the south side, obviously. It's pretty solid right now. Northbound 55 from the Union Road overpass up to about Loughborough. Still slow to Virginia after that. If you get on North 270, you're good to go. Once you ramp on there, it's clear sailing up through Gravois, past 44, up past 64, Ladue in the construction zone. No issues there. No issues yet. Southbound 61 coming down to 64 or 70. You can take your pick there coming out of Wentzville across the Missouri River bridges. There are no delays on the Illinois side. Westbound 64 is still looking good through 159. Clear sailing across the bridges, and they're scheduled to start road work this hour for the day on eastbound 270 between 203 and 111. The right lane closed, and the exit to 111 is scheduled to be closed all day long, according to IDOT, until this evening. So unsure when the wrap-up time will be, but it'll possibly impact your drive home this afternoon. Right now, it doesn't look bad through there. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Some sun followed by increasing clouds today. It'll be breezy and warmer this afternoon with a high of 74 degrees and then a couple of showers and a thunderstorm around as we head into the evening. We could see some damaging winds, hail, and downpours tonight with an overnight low of 53, but should be nice tomorrow. More sun than clouds and a high of 82. It's 49 out there right now.
It's 6:32. The legal battle over who commands the budget for the St. Louis Police Department now in the hands of a judge. Closing arguments finished yesterday in one of the lawsuits challenging the state's police takeover. 2 residents sued, claiming the new state-appointed board doesn't have the constitutional authority to force City Hall to increase police spending.
Plaintiff Jamala Rogers says ignoring the will of the voters is a major problem.
It takes the power out of the hands of voters. And so I think that's very dissettling and outrageous.
But supporters of the state takeover argue the city proved it couldn't handle it. Police Officers Association President Martin Garcia tells Fox 2 in Jeff City.
I just think in general, there's been a lack of investment in infrastructure for the department and a lack of investment in the policemen themselves.
State attorneys argued that St. Louis is a crucial economic hub that requires improved safety. Both sides have until June 1st to submit their final written briefs.
Officers find more weapons and drugs during a traffic stop. City police say they conducted that stop in Chippewa in South St. Louis yesterday, where they found a disassembled AR-style rifle, a handgun equipped with a sear switch, and suspected narcotics. A juvenile and adult suspect were taken into custody.
Boeing, after moving its defense headquarters back to town and investing billions into new manufacturing, now want to spruce up its surroundings. Michael Calhoun has a preview.
The company says it'll fund cleanup efforts in the historic North St. Louis County town that residents have been fighting to revive after years of illegal dumping. It's right in Boeing's backyard, and employees will be hands-on with the work. KMOX's Charlie Brennan has held cleanup events like this over the years in Kinloch and spotlighted the problem. Kinloch officials have given hints about this, but we'll really hear from them coming up later this morning at a news conference.
Your money report is coming up on Total Information AM. This news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's 6:34.
Before a nation, there was an idea. Before freedom, there was a sacrifice. This year, KMOX marks America's 250th birthday. Step into history with John Hancock and Michael Kelly, Sunday mornings at 8, as they pull you into the moment where everything was on the line. This is the sound of a nation being born. Celebrate America, 250 years strong, with Hancock and Kelly, Sunday mornings at 8, only on KMOX.
If you're getting close to retirement, or maybe you're just thinking about retirement more in general, you're probably thinking about, when can you retire? Will you have enough money to live on? You know, we all have retirement questions that, let's be honest, they're overwhelming and just can stress us out. But Steve All can help answer those questions so that you'll feel more confident about this next phase of your life. Check out his show, The All Financial Hour, Saturday mornings at 10 and Sunday evenings at 6. Here on KMOX.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
It is 6:35. Let's get you updated on your money report. It is sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Airbnb hosts are expecting to welcome tens of thousands of new guests this summer for the World Cup. More than 100,000 homes in 16 host cities have been listed on Airbnb for the first time. As a result, Airbnb boosting its financial forecast for the year. The short-term home rental company has been shaking up its business. It started to offer rooms at boutique hotels in markets that are tightly regulated. It's also adding new a la carte services in select markets such as Instacart grocery stocking. Wall Street is waiting on the April jobs report, which will be released before the opening bell. Forecasters expect the data to show a solid 65,000 increase in payrolls. Ahead of that, stock futures are on the rise. And Google has launched the Fitbit Air, which is a screenless fitness band that tracks key health metrics like steps and sleep. It features a soft fabric band with a battery and sensor pack underneath. It costs $100. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
At EasyCater, we believe every workday gets better with great food. The 9 a.m. staff meeting? How about breakfast burritos and lots of coffee? Big client presentation at noon? Let's do Mediterranean bowls. Accounting's gotta work late. Keep them pepped up with spicy noodles. With EasyCater, you get a huge variety of favorite restaurants with tools to help meet dietary needs and stay on budget, all on one platform. So make every workday better with EasyCater. Start an order at easycater.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey guys, are you dealing with low energy, weight gain, or issues in the bedroom? Well, Game Day Men's Health is the premier men's health clinic in the St. Louis area with locations in Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. They specialize in low testosterone and sexual health, but they also help men and women with medical weight loss, vitamins, and peptides. They offer free consultations and testosterone tests with results in about 20 minutes. So get in, get answers, and get back to the top of your game with Game Day Men's Health. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Today, the Cards, the Padres.
Ameren Total Access 750. First pitch 8:45.
Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
You're listening to Total Information AM. The high-stakes diplomacy intensifies between the U.S. and Iran as President Trump maintains the ceasefire is holding despite new skirmishes at the Strait of Hormuz. This comes after the U.S. thwarted attacks on 3 Navy ships in the Strait and retaliated against Iranian military facilities. President Trump says the ceasefire is still holding.
A court has ruled President Trump's latest 10% tariffs are illegal. The president enacted those tariffs in February, days after the Supreme Court struck down his previous round of tariffs as illegal. In a 2-1 ruling yesterday, the U.S. Court of International Trade called these new tariffs unlawful, but only blocked the levies for 2 businesses and the state of Washington. It's 6:40.
That means it's time to check the roads. Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center. Doesn't seem like it's been too bad, Roger.
No, it hasn't been, Megan. It's been pretty easy going. It's busy on the south side, of course, on northbound Highway 55. You've got the delays coming up from about the Union Road overpass. It's pretty solid bumper-to-bumper traffic up from there through Loughborough. It opens up as you get through Holly Hills, Virginia. North 270, a little slow. North of Doherty Ferry up to Manchester, so that doesn't look all that bad. I mentioned earlier about car Bryan overpass on Highway 70. They put it out pretty quickly, but they still have the overpass shut down. So if you're eastbound 70 getting off at Bryan Road, you can't turn north or to go across the interstate. Drivers coming northbound on Bryan Road cannot cross the interstate. The overpass itself is temporarily shut down. They removed the car that was on fire, but I guess there's still cleanup. I see firemen walking around. Police and the fire pumpers remain on the scene there. So be advised, the overpass is shut down, at least for the next couple of minutes. Other than that, like I said, on the Illinois side, we're still okay. 64 through 159 look good across the bridges. And still no delays eastbound 270. They're scheduled to have the right lane closed this hour and the exit ramp to 111. But between 203 and 111, that right lane is scheduled to be closed all day. Next update at 6:50 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is 6:41, and looking out the windows of Studio B here in downtown West, I see the little trees outside the window here flapping in the breeze. So it's a nice breezy morning. But what else can we say about this weekend forecast, Joe Lundberg?
It's going to be changeable, Debbie. We're going to see sunshine for a while before clouds increase. That breeze will be notable, and our high temperature will get up to about 74 degrees this afternoon. During the course of the afternoon, though, some things are going to bubble up ahead of a weak disturbance. A shower and even a heavier thunderstorm that could produce downpours, hail, and gusty winds. That'll linger into this evening, and then it clears later tonight. We'll drop to 53. Much quieter, much nicer day tomorrow with sunshine, a few clouds, and a high of 82. Then another front comes through the area tomorrow night, and Sunday we'll start with clouds and a couple of showers before we end with some sun. But Mother's Day is going to be a lot cooler. The high is only going to get to about 67. Or sunshine on Monday, the high 74. Clouds and sun Tuesday, a risk of a shower or thunderstorm later today. The high gets up to 79. Right now, 53 degrees at St. Peter's and in Florissant. We've got sunshine and 55 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
And I'm Joe Pott. Jordan Walker absolutely scorching over the last week or so. I'll tell you more about that straight ahead in sports.
More news now at 6:42. Some passengers who were on board the cruise ship that's dealing with a hantavirus outbreak disembarked the vessel before the first passenger fell ill and died. At least 6 Americans from 5 states are being monitored for possible symptoms of the disease from exposure during their time on the ship. CBS News chief medical correspondent Dr. John LaPook outlined some of the things being considered for people who may have come in contact with people carrying the disease.
We know the incubation period's up to 6 weeks about. So are they allowed to go outside? What does it mean in terms of monitoring yourself? And I've heard that they're considering talking to people about daily temperatures, about staying away from large crowds.
The war in Iran continues driving up prices in the United States. CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes reports that one of the next big increases could impact travel plans.
We're going to need a bailout for the entire airline industry.
Economic analyst Henrietta Trays.
You're dealing with jet fuel prices that are 100% higher than they were before the war. It was an unforeseen circumstance. They couldn't plan for this kind of an event.
How big of a bailout are we talking about?
I would say probably somewhere in the $5 billion range.
President Trump has insisted for weeks that the Persian Gulf standoff paralyzing oil shipping is about to end.
They want to make a deal.
But another day went by without an Iranian response to the latest U.S. proposal.
The April unemployment report due for release later today. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger has a preview.
Although job creation has not necessarily been robust, we haven't seen a huge wave of layoffs. Claims for unemployment insurance are lower than they were in 2023 and 2024 and 2025. And layoff announcements are running below where they were a year ago.
Well, artificial intelligence is affecting job cuts in a variety of ways.
In April, AI is cited as the top cause of layoffs, responsible for 26% of them. Company closures came in second, then cost cutting. AI is affecting white-collar jobs, unlike past automation cycles where blue-collar workers were more vulnerable. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics says layoffs in professional and business services, sectors vulnerable to AI, rose by 150,000 in March from a year earlier. Michael Toscano, CBS News, Washington.
It is now 6:45.
Who's Hot, Who's Not is sponsored by St. Louis Composting, Growing Gardens, and Making Memories. Jordan Walker, red hot over the last week. Walker was 2 for 4 last night in the series opening win at San Diego.
Ready for the 0-2 pitch, and it's hit sharply up the middle, base hit. Another hit on an 0-2 pitch. Walker's thinking about 2. He's headed to second, and he's going to beat the throw. Jordan Walker hustling out of the box. A base hit into left center. Stubby Clapp was waving him the entire way, and that Jordan Walker picks up his second double of the night.
He's got 11 hits in his last 7 games, a .440 batting average, 4 doubles, 2 homers. He has slugged .840 during that time and has a 1.357 OPS. Overall, he's hitting .309, and he's 4th in the National League with a .971 OPS. The Reds are finally out of Wrigley Field after being swept in a 4-game series by the red-hot Cubs. And Cincinnati's losing streak has hit 7 games. The Reds are back home tonight to face the Astros in Cincinnati. As you've heard, you can now hear the Gateway Grizzlies on the Odyssey app. They opened their regular season last night on the road.
The Gateway Grizzlies could not get their bats going on Thursday night in their season opener in Mississippi, falling to the Mud Monsters in Pearl at Trustmark Park by a final score of 5-2. With an update on the Gateway Grizzlies of the Frontier League, I'm the voice of the Grizzlies, Jason Garrett. The Grizzlies' bats were quieted by Mississippi starter Preston Johnson, who twirled 6 shutout innings, striking out 8 with no walks to earn the win. Gateway would get on the board in the top of the 8th inning on a 2-run home run by Victor Castillo, their first home run of 2026, but it was not enough to erase the deficit. They will look to bounce back in the middle game of the 3-game series Friday night at 6:30 Central Time back at Trustmark Park on the Grizzlies Media Network, powered by Odyssey.com and the free Odyssey app.
Well, tonight, the Battlehawks are home to face the Columbus Aviators, and they'll welcome back several members of the Rams' Greatest Show on Turf teams. Former head coaches Dick Vermeil, Mike Martz, many former players, including Marshall Faulk, will be back. Battlehawks head coach Ricky Prohl, of course, was part of those teams. His son, Austin Prohl, is now the wide receivers coach for the Battlehawks, and he remembers hanging around the locker room and what it was like to be around the Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk and the Rams.
You know, I had like a little good luck charm I used to do when I was a kid, when I was 5 or whatever, and I thought, you know, Todd ended up making me do it every week, and obviously they were what they were, and Marshall was what he was, you know, a Hall of Famer. And it was something that's special. And Marshall was always great with me ever since I was a young age and to this day. So he's always shown me nothing but love. But they were all great, to be honest with you. I mean, they all kind of took me under their wing and were always, you know, messing with me and talking crap to me since I was young. And it was just cool. You know, I loved it. I loved every second of just being a part of their group as much as I could. And then obviously, you know, getting to watch their success and being the greatest offense in NFL history was pretty cool too.
That is Austin Prohl. He was on with Chris and Amy earlier this week. Kickoff at the Dome is 7 o'clock tonight. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's Tom Ackerman for St. Louis Composting. Composting is very important. Soil is very important. Mulch is very important for your yard. Soil with 5% or more organic matter is the gold standard. It creates better structure. It locks in nutrients. It dramatically improves water retention. Now is the perfect time for a full landscape cleanup. Add compost to your garden beds to prep for planting season. And mulch. Refresh your entire landscape with a fresh layer of mulch in your flower beds and around your trees. It's the fastest way to make your yard pop with a beautiful, well-kept look. How do you do all of that? You just go to stlcompost.com. They have a menu of everything you could possibly want or need. They even have a material calculator at stlcompost.com to figure out exactly how much soil or mulch your project requires. 9 retail locations all over the area. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens, making memories.
Working families are being impacted by higher electricity prices while utility profits increase. Competition lowers electricity's cost, but that's not what your utility wants. Your state legislation rejected their legislation to eliminate competition. Now your utility is trying to ignore them and ask DC for monopoly favors, putting corporate profits over protecting consumers. Hardworking taxpayers deserve better. Call your congressional leaders today. Ask them to tell FERC to say no to no-bid billion-dollar transmission projects paid for by the Electricity Transmission Competition Coalition.
Each year in St. Louis, 10 women are recognized for volunteer leadership that changes lives. They support families, strengthen communities, and create opportunities where they're needed most. Join us Tuesday, May 19th at the Ritz-Carlton for the 2026 Women of Achievement Awards Luncheon. Celebrate their impact and be part of a tradition more than 70 years strong. Reservations available at woastl.org. For more information, go to kmox.com/events.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX. Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Let's try to get you safely to work on this Friday morning. Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it's still not bad, Megan. We got a couple of slowdowns out there. Of course, the biggest one's northbound 55 in the work zone as you head into the city from Pott Bayless all the way up through Holly Hills. It's pretty busy north 55. If you get on north 270, it looks good from 55 all the way up through 44 past 64 Ladue. Everything's good to go. I mentioned earlier, they're still wrapping up this vehicle fire. They just were loading the car onto the flatbed, but the overpass, the Bryan Road overpass at Highway 70 shut down. So if you get off the highway there, you have to go, well, eastbound 70 drivers have to go south of Bryan Road. Northbound Bryan Road drivers are forced onto eastbound 70. And eastbound 70 drivers, I think, are slowing for a look at all the equipment on the overpass because it is slow from Lake St. Louis up to Bryan Road, eastbound 70 right now. And I don't see anything on 70. So it's just the overpass there. But like I said, they should have this hopefully reopened in the next couple of minutes. And I'm starting to see a backup now. I mentioned the road work. The right lane closed eastbound 270, 203 to 111. And that 111 exit is going to be closed now through this evening. So be prepared to have delays all day there. Next update at 6:58 from the overhead door company at St. Louis Traffic Center.
Should be a nice sunny morning, and then we'll see clouds moving in by this afternoon, maybe a shower, maybe a thunderstorm, and they could get stronger as we head into the evening with damaging winds, hail, and downpours. A high today of 74. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds and a high of 82. It's 51 degrees now with sunshine.
More news now at 6:52. Government officials once again touting the accomplishments of Operation Relentless Pursuit. The task force was started last year in order to crack down on residents with felony warrants. The Missouri Department of Public Safety says the operation efforts last week led to 25 arrests, ranging from a 24-year-old wanted for first-degree rape to a 59-year-old wanted for escape from custody. The department says the operation has led to more than 1,400 arrests since its start a little less than a year ago.
Officers find more weapons and drugs during a traffic stop. City police say they conducted a traffic stop on Chippewa in South St. Louis yesterday, where they found a disassembled AR-style rifle, a handgun equipped with a sear switch, and suspected narcotics. A juvenile and adult taken into custody.
There's a picket line outside a South St. Louis warehouse.
Teamsters Local 688 official Chris Tongay says his 61 members walked out after contract negotiations with Breakthrough Beverages Missouri went south. At issue,
being able to honor picket lines at other places their ability to picket if they're on strike at their own location, all that kind of thing. And then on top of it, we had some economic proposals that the company hasn't addressed either.
Breakthrough Beverages has 45 facilities in North America, employing about 9,000. Brad Choate, KMOX News.
No word yet from Breakthrough on the contract stalemate with warehouse workers. Teamsters Local 600 truck drivers in St. Louis are also striking against the company, as well as Teamsters Local 710 in suburban Chicago.
I-70 drivers will see some road closures next week. We get more from Roger Brand.
Well, we're going to have intermittent closures of westbound Highway 70 starting Monday. I'm Roger Brand. It's going to happen in Wentzville. Westbound 70 at Highway Z is going to be shut down for up to 15-minute intervals 3 times a day between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. for the next 3 weeks. And the exit ramp at Highway Z will be also closed at that time for rock excavation work alongside the highway.
You have until 10 a.m. today to donate to a local nonprofit organization still accepting donations following yesterday's Give STL Day. Currently, the online donation page shows $3.2 million has been given to regional nonprofits. You can give today at givestltoday.org.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your birthday.
Today's KMOX birthday shout-out sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back. Celebrity birthdays for this Friday, May 8th include this musician. Of course, you want to listen to the drums on that. Alex Van Halen, 73 years old today, a drummer and founding member of Van Halen. Biologist, TV presenter David Attenborough, 100 years old today. Singer-songwriter Tony Tennille, 86. And actress Melissa Gilbert is 62.
Local celebrity birthdays include Mary Ann Chris of O'Fallon, along with Mary Bertarello. Happy 52nd anniversary, Mary Kay and Tom Prott of Fairview Heights. Happy birthday wishes going out to Beth Buckite and Jordan Corson from the Spring family, Tilly Wisman from Grandma and Grandpa Wiss, and happy birthday wishes to Fletcher Lane, Gabe Montesanti, and Lisa Clancy.
This is the best birthday ever.
Why would life-saving care require a membership? In a real emergency, are you reaching for your wallet or your phone to call 911? And what if the member helicopter isn't the closest one? What if they don't carry blood on board? What if those differences matter? They do. Arch Air Medical Service is proud to serve Effingham and surrounding communities with life-saving air medical care. Our highly trained crews deliver advanced medicine in the air because when seconds count, capability matters more than a card in your wallet. Plus, we're part of Air Methods, the nation's largest air medical provider. Worried about cost? Here's the truth. The No Surprises Act protects patients with private insurance from unexpected out-of-network air ambulance bills. You'll only pay your in-network copay, coinsurance, or deductible. If you have Medicare or Medicaid, similar protections apply. Providers cannot bill beyond those limits. That means no air medical membership is needed. Learn more at airmethods.com. Copays, coinsurance, and deductibles are set by insurance providers, not Air Methods. Terms and costs may vary. Contact your insurer for details.
Summer's here. Is your backyard ready? If you missed the spring rush, Artistic Decks can still make it happen. From premium wood to maintenance-free composite, get the quality you deserve. Don't wait. Call Artistic Decks today at 314-280-0821.
Hey, St. Louis, need to sell your home fast? The Gelman team with eXp Realty can make you an instant cash offer in just 24 hours. No showings, no repairs, no waiting. Visit thegelmanteam.com or give them a call at 314-336-1991.
Stan Musial, he missed a season in his prime to serve his country in the Navy.
Honor a legend on Saturday, May 16th when the Cardinals face the Kansas City Royals. Fans can secure a Stan Musial military bobblehead presented by Coca-Cola and Deerbirds. This patriotic collectible celebrates Stan's Hall of Fame career and his service to our country. A true symbol of character on and off the field. A tribute worth displaying and remembering. Don't miss it. Get tickets and details at cardinals.com/promotions.
Some Sundays are made for the water. Sunday, May 17th, as the Cardinals take on the Kansas City Royals, make it a ballpark day too. That day, you can score a Cardinals boat tote presented by Coca-Cola and Walmart. A classic summer bag that fits right in from the dock to the dugout. It's ready for long weekends, sunny afternoons, and whatever plans you have next. Get tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
Let's head back to the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center. Roger Brand, how are the roads?
Well, we're doing better out in St. Charles County, Megan, because they cleared that car fire. They towed the vehicle away. They wrapped it up. Our whole thing, all lanes are back open on the Bryan Road overpass, exit and on ramps. No longer any restrictions. And 70s, just a little slow approaching Bryan Road. That'll probably thin out. So no real worries there now, and that's good news. Northbound 270 still looks great. There's just a hint of a slowdown as you approach 64, getting into the construction zone there. Northbound 55, again, just a slowdown, not a jam, but it's slow from Bayless up to Avant, Virginia. Still okay on the Illinois side. Westbound 64 coming through 159, headed across the bridges. But that road work is going on. Eastbound 270, the right lane closed between 203 and 111, and the exit ramp to 111 closed. It's jammed approaching 203. Next update at 7:10 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Friday, May 8th. I'm Debbie Monterrey. The legal battle over who commands the budget for the St. Louis Police Department is now in the hands of a judge. We'll hear more after CBS News.
I'm Megan Lynch.
This is KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer. Coming up, St. Louis native and former New York Archbishop Cardinal Timothy Dolan reflects on the Vatican meeting between Pope Leo and Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Some sun followed by increasing clouds, breezy and warmer today, with a shower and thunderstorm around this afternoon and evening, the high 74.
I'm Joe Pott. There's going to be even more March Madness. I'll tell you about that coming up in sports.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A new challenge to the U.S.-Iran ceasefire, and the president doesn't sound worried. Correspondent Nancy Cordes is at the White House.
President Trump says the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran is still intact this morning, despite the live fire that the two countries traded yesterday in the Strait. The president, in an interview, called it a love tap.
The United Arab Emirates says 3 people were injured in an Iranian missile drone attack on the UAE overnight. Gas prices are down about a penny today to an average $4.55 a gallon. That's still about 40 cents higher than a month ago and about $1.40 more than this time last year. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger isn't optimistic about quick relief.
I would not expect sub $3 gas anytime soon. That is highly unlikely. The economists out there are saying, drivers, you better be prepared. This is going to be hurting through the summer, maybe through the end of the year.
The April jobs report that comes out in about a half an hour is expected to show only small gains. President Trump hopeful the hantavirus outbreak that killed 3 passengers on a luxury cruise ship has been contained, and Americans returning home will be safe.
A lot of great people are studying it. It should be fine. We hope.
CBS's Tom Hansen.
State authorities say 1 passenger is now home in Arizona, another in Virginia, 2 in Georgia, 2 in Texas, and an unknown number are back in California. Health officials say none of them are showing any symptoms of hantavirus.
They all returned after disembarking before the MV Hondius headed to West Africa, then on to Spain, where it's expected to drop anchor this weekend. About 150 passengers, including 17 Americans, are still on that ship, quarantined in their cabins. A new tactic to get deadbeat parents to pay up, revoking their passports.
The State Department hasn't said when the new policy will start or how many people could have their passports revoked, but it does say it is tracking 4.3 million people with outstanding child support debt. A 1996 law gives the State Department the power to revoke the passports of people who have not paid child support, but that law has not been strictly enforced. The State Department has been rejecting the passport applications of people who are behind on child support payments. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
New study in JAMA Oncology finds more than half of patients with advanced lung cancer don't get treatment. A third never see oncologists. Researchers blame lack of screening and a sense of hopelessness. The American Cancer Society's Dr. William Dayhut.
We've seen a 5-time improvement in overall survival for metastatic lung cancer patients, but it's only at 10%. So while there's been great improvement there, there's still a long way to go.
Dow futures up 140. This is CBS News.
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with CBS Saturday Morning on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
At 7:04, we have sunny skies, 52 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Friday, May 8th. I'm Megan Lynch.
And I'm Debbie Monterrey. A Central Illinois man is found guilty of sexually assaulting a random woman he targeted in a Starbucks drive-thru lane. KMOX's Brad Choate has details on what prosecutors argued.
The encounter happened on Veterans Day 2022 in Collinsville. Then 28-year-old Timothy Dubois told police in a taped interview he picked Starbucks because it's popular with women and that his 21-year-old victim could have been anyone. Investigators found evidence that shows Dubois forced the woman to drive to a remote Troy, Illinois location, sexually assaulted her, then drove her back to the parking lot. Dubois allegedly told the victim he deserved to have sex with her on Veterans Day because he served in the military. Brad Choate, KMOX News.
State officials once again touting the accomplishments of Operation Relentless Pursuit. The task force started last year to crack down on residents with felony warrants. The Missouri Department of Public Safety says operation efforts last week led to 25 arrests, ranging from a 24-year-old wanted for first-degree rape to a 59-year-old wanted for escape from custody. The department says the operation has led to more than 1,400 arrests overall since its start a little less than a year ago.
The legal battle over who commands the budget for the St. Louis Police Department is now in the hands of a judge. Closing arguments finished yesterday in one of the lawsuits challenging the state's police takeover. 2 city residents sued, claiming the new state-appointed board does not have the constitutional authority to force City Hall to increase police spending.
Plaintiff Jamala Rogers says ignoring the will of the voters is a major problem.
It takes the power out of the hands of voters. And so I think that's very dissettling and outrageous.
Supporters of the state takeover argue the city proved it couldn't handle it. Police Officers Association President Martin Garcia tells our partners Fox 2.
I just think in general, there's been a lack of investment in infrastructure for the department and a lack of investment in the policemen themselves.
State attorneys argued St. Louis is a crucial economic hub that requires improved safety. Both sides have until June 1st to submit their final written briefs.
Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway after yesterday's argument.
I'm proud to defend our authority to represent the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department and the St. Louis Police Board, and we will work tirelessly to defeat any attempts to defund the police.
But is City Hall trying to defund the police? Mayor Spencer was called to testify in this particular trial and cited one of her concerns. Although this was not the case she and the city recently filed. Here is Mayor Spencer on the state board extending lifetime health coverage with no premiums for officers at a cost to the city.
A nice benefit, but one that costs us tens of millions of dollars every year, and one that I think we would all be better served to put in salaries for new officers so we could actually have an effective recruitment apparatus.
Spencer has said she's very supportive of police, but looks at the numbers and gets concerned about sudden new costs the city isn't prepared to handle.
You have until 10 a.m. today to donate to a local nonprofit organization still accepting donations following yesterday's Give STL Day. Currently, the online donation page shows $3.2 million has been given to regional nonprofits, and the website to give is givestltoday.org.
From the KMOX Business Desk, the William L. Clay Senior Early Childhood Development Center at Harris Stowe is closing at the end of June. The university's Board of Regents made the decision after a multi-year review of the center's financial performance, which finds it operated at a sustained deficit and cut into the university's bottom line by $1 million. Harris Stowe says it's offering staff individualized transition support and information for families about alternative childcare options. The closure adds to concerns about a critical childcare shortage in the St. Louis area.
We could have some storms later on today. We'll get the forecast plus another check of the traffic conditions in 2 minutes here on Total Information AM. It's 7:08.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It's 7:10. Let's take a look right now at the roadways, and then we'll look at the forecast. Roger Brands in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, that road work is out there now. I mentioned at the top of the hour, Deputy, we do have a jam for Illinois drivers on eastbound Highway 270. It's bumper to bumper about midway between Route 3 and 203. The right lane's closed from 203 from that point to 111, and the exit ramp to 111 is closed all day long. They said it'll be wrapped up this evening. It could be weather permitting if we get weather later today, I suppose, but they're planning on being out there probably through the evening rush hour, and it's already jammed this morning, so you know this afternoon it's going to be tough through there as well, so just be prepared. Again, that right lane closed and the exit ramp to 111 closed, eastbound 270, the jam approaching 203. Other than that, rest of the highways don't look that bad. Northbound 55, Loughborough up to Virginia is a little busy. 270 still looks okay coming up through Ladue out west, 70, 64, 61 fine coming out of Wentzville, and 64 westbound at 159 in Fairview Heights still looks good. Next update at 7:20 for the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather. Some sun followed by increasing clouds today. Breezy and warmer this afternoon. Look for a couple of showers and a thunderstorm later this afternoon and evening. Any thunderstorm can produce damaging wind gusts, hail, and downpours. The high 74. Clearing later tonight of 53. More sun than clouds and pleasantly warm for tomorrow. High 82. Sunday much cooler with cloud and a couple of showers followed by some afternoon sun. The high just 67. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Currently, we have sunny skies, 51 degrees in Florissant. It's 50 in St. Peters and 52 downtown at the Arch.
Well, a good start to the road trip for the Redbirds, and I'll tell you all about that straight ahead in sports.
It is 7:12. A Jennings man gets 13 years in prison after repeat domestic firearm offenses. Previously convicted felon 40-year-old Jarrell Allman was sentenced Wednesday after shooting at his ex-girlfriend engaging in a 3-hour police standoff in February of last year. The sentence marks Allman's fourth conviction involving a firearm and is one of what was referred to in court as a long string of domestic crimes that he'd committed.
Part of the Rams settlement money Mayor Kara Spencer is putting on the table aimed at downtown St. Louis. She expects the business community to help foot the bill, alongside $110 million for North St. Louis tornado recovery and $30 million for the water department. The package includes a downtown investment piece.
I'm confident our business community will come to the table with a match. We've been in long discussions with them. I think, I recognize that the investment in downtown may not be what our business community was hoping for in some ways. We have a lot of competing interests here.
Even with private sector help, the mayor frames the Rams' money as finite. Spencer says it's not enough to cover more than $2 billion in tornado damage. The long-term needs of the water department are decades of deferred infrastructure work. She called the lengthy wait to allocate the funds deliberate as the city sorted out what FEMA and the state would cover from the tornado.
Boeing, after moving its defense headquarters back to St. Louis and investing billions into new manufacturing, now wants to spruce up its surroundings. KMOX's Michael Calhoun has a preview.
The company says it'll fund cleanup efforts in the historic North St. Louis County town that residents have been fighting to revive after years of illegal dumping. It's right in Boeing's backyard, and employees will be hands-on with the work. KMOX's Charlie Brennan has held cleanup events like this over the years in Kinloch and spotlighted the problem. Kinloch officials have given hints about this, but we'll really hear from them coming up later this morning at a news conference.
Motorists driving the Interstate 70 construction zones dealing with white-knuckle conditions thanks to heavy concrete barriers pushed right up against the lines. Drivers complain of claustrophobia, noting there's virtually no room for error when boxed in by semi-trucks on a windy day.
Improve I-70 director Eric Kopinski tells the Dave Glover Show MoDOT knows the setup is uncomfortably tight, but they had to make a drastic change to protect their crews.
For the past 10, 15 years, we've tried to do that with just cones and plastic channelizers, and that has not worked well. We've had workers get seriously injured and way too many that have not gone home at the end of each day. So our number one priority on our project across the state is the safety.
Kopinski notes that local labor forces from St. Louis, Columbia, and Kansas City are handling the construction. He says MoDOT is pushing those contractors to complete the barricaded work zones as quickly and safely as possible to ease the burden on drivers. It's 7:15.
Cardinals opened a 7-game road trip last night in San Diego, and they had some outstanding pitching to open the 4-game series. Matthew Liberatore got the start last night for the Redbirds. San Diego used a walk and 2 hits in the bottom of the first inning to get on the board, courtesy of Xander Bogaerts.
Libby delivers a little check swing blooper down the right field line, and that's going to drop in front of Jordan Walker. And the throw comes into third base as the Padres take the lead on a bloop hit to right. He didn't mean to swing, but it got the job done. A base hit for Bogaerts. And with 2 outs, the Padres have struck here in the first inning, and they lead 1-0.
But that's all they would get. Libby faced the minimum over the next 2 innings. The Cardinals tied the game in the 4th thanks to Alec Burleson.
He waits on the first pitch from King, and he golfs one down the right field line. Castellanos looks and watches it sail over the boards for a home run. Castellanos took 2 steps and looked at it, and it just kept going. And Alec Burleson has tied this ball game with a solo home run.
3 more quick innings in the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th for Liberatore, and the Cardinals got on top in the 7th inning. Jordan Walker doubled to open the inning, and Mason Wynn hit with 1 out.
He checks the runner at second. That's Walker. Here's his pitch. And Wynn goes down the right field line. This has a chance to drop as Castellanos lets it go. It goes by him. Walker's going to score. Mason Wynn goes to second. He's going to go around, and he's going to try and go to third. And Mason Wynn is going to go in with an RBI triple. And the Cardinals are on top.
2-1 Redbirds at that time. And from there, it was up to the bullpen. George Soriano had the 7th. He got some help after a leadoff single by Fernando Tatis Jr.
Tatis has his lead. Soriano comes to the plate. Runner going. Here's a throw down to second, and he is out. Great throw by Pedro Pajes.
The Padres challenged, but the call was upheld. Jojo Romero worked the 8th inning. He struck out 1. Jordan Walker hits in the 9th inning as the Cards look to add on.
He's ready for the 0-2 pitch, and it's hit sharply up the middle. Base hit. Another hit on an 0-2 pitch. Walker's thinking about 2. He's headed to second, and he's going to beat the throw. Jordan Walker hustling out of the box. A base hit into left center. Stubby Clapp was waving him the entire way, and that Jordan Walker picks up his 2nd double of the night.
And that is our cut of the game, sponsored by The Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net. Walker was left on, and Riley O'Brien had to come on to take the bottom of the ninth. O'Brien got a ground out and a strikeout before he faces Manny Machado.
O'Brien is ready. The 2-1 pitch is grounded toward short. Mason Wynn has it. He throws over to first, and the Cardinals win the first game of the series here in San Diego. Riley O'Brien closes it out for save number 11. Matthew Liberatore picks up his second victory of the year, his first against the Padres, and it was an absolute team effort here tonight in San Diego.
Game 2 of the series is tonight. First pitch is 8:40 Central Time. Pregame coverage at 7:45. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My best advice to you when hiring a lawyer for your injury case is simple. If you know court personnel, ask them who they'd hire. They know. If you know an insurance adjuster, ask them. They know. And then ask them about us. Ask them about Morgan & Morgan. They know. I look forward to talking to you soon. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm for the people. Injured? Dial pound law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merit.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. It's a great time to buy a brand new home, and the Reserve at Wildwood is where you want to be. Park-like setting with front porches on every home, connected trails for exploring, walk to Main Street and Wildwood Town Center, top-rated Rockwood schools, and legendary McKelvey quality you can count on, featuring James Hardy siding. Visit McKelveyHomes.com and learn what makes the Reserve so special. It's time to move up to McKelvey.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is now 7:20, so let's get you caught up on traffic and weather. Friday mornings are usually pretty nice compared to the rest of the week for whatever reason. Hopefully that's holding true today. And the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center, here is Roger Brand.
Yeah, it certainly looks great right now with just the one exception, Debbie, and that's the construction going on the Illinois side, the road work that's just a day-long repair job, but they do have that right lane closed eastbound 270 from 203 to 111, and the exit ramp to 111 is also closed, and that'll be through this evening, so they didn't give an end time with weather coming maybe later today. Who knows how long they'll be out there, but they're out there now, and there's already a backup approaching 203 through 111 on eastbound 270, so you know that'll be worse in the afternoon. More folks headed that way during that time of day. Other than that, on the Illinois side, we a little slowdown now. Westbound 64 through 159. No delays across the bridges, though, and on the Missouri side, interstates are wide open. I don't see any slowdowns, even in the work zones. The busiest road stretch I see is some slow traffic from West Watson to 270 on eastbound 30, but even that is not a jam. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast for today, it looks like we're going to have sunny skies to start. We'll see more clouds as the day goes on. It will be breezy with showers and thunderstorms possible as we head later in the day into the evening. It looks like a high today around 74. Clearing later tonight with an overnight low of 53. And then tomorrow, more sun than clouds and warm, a high of 82. We have sunny skies, 52 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
It is 7:22 and the news continues. A very good thing. That's how St. Louis native and former New York Archbishop Cardinal Timothy Dolan assesses the Vatican meeting between Pope Leo and Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
Cardinal Dolan tells Fox News the Vatican and the United States need each other, since one is considered the world's military leader and the other the world's moral leader.
Now, it's not rare. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, I guess he was dispatched because there's a bit of a ruffle in the relations between the Holy See and the American government." It would not be rare for an American Secretary of State to meet with the Holy Father, but I think that there's no denying the fact that this was especially pressing, insofar as what I would consider the very unfortunate remarks of President Trump.
Cardinal Dolan says Pope Leo would agree with President Trump that nuclear weapons should not be in the hands of fanatics. It's just that the Vatican stance is to give negotiations a chance and avoid the rush to using weapons. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
61 warehouse workers from Teamsters Local 688 in St. Louis striking against Breakthrough Beverage Missouri, formerly Major Brands, citing a failure by the company to negotiate over so-called boilerplate contract issues.
We'd had labor contracts going with them for years and years and never had a problem. When Breakthrough bought Major Brands, suddenly everything that we do is an issue for them.
Local 688 Executive Officer Chris Tonge tells KMOX the company is trying to change common union standards involving things like dues payment and the honoring of picket lines. He says his members are also not happy about wages and the rejection of a union-based healthcare plan. Breakthrough Beverages has not commented on the strike.
Missouri regulators say a nationwide vendor isn't coughing up many details on a healthcare data breach. The cyber attack on Conduent by a ransomware group lasted nearly 3 months and could potentially impact 25 million Americans.
Angela Nelson, director of the Missouri Department of Commerce and Insurance, says her agency is asking insurance companies operating in the state if they contract with Conduent.
And so we can just make sure that to the extent that any of those are insurance consumers, that the proper notices were sent to those impacted Missourians so that they know that their data has been breached.
Nelson says there's concern that hackers could use health information to file false medical claims or use personal information for other scams. You can learn more this morning at 8:11 on KMOX. Take us with you with the Odyssey app.
A bill in the State House would mean new social media rules for minors. It's named for Megan Meyer, the 13-year-old girl who committed suicide 20 years ago after being bullied online. MissouriNet spoke with the bill's sponsor, Missouri Republican State Rep Don Mayhew of Crocker.
So it really boils down to this very simply, is that if a child wants a TikTok account or a Facebook account, mom or dad has to create that.
Then the parents can access messages and be notified of the content their child sees online. That would be for kids younger than 16. There'd be another category for those 16 through 18. There's only 4 weeks left, though, in the legislative session, so it likely won't get done, but Mayhew says he'll bring it back in the next session.
Young adults looking for summer employment in St. Louis might be in luck.
The Summer Youth Empowerment Program places young adults in part-time internships that fit their career goals, with the hope that the role lands them in a full-time job in the field. The program pays $20 per hour and is now live for young adults between the ages of 19 and 24. Program Director Alan Perkins.
A lot of times, even parents, they rely on a secondary income. And usually if a younger person that's between that 19 and 24 are in the house, usually they want to contribute as well.
Perkins says the goal is to employ 100 young adults. Jade Aubrey, KMOX News.
It's a brand new book club concept from St. Louis County Library. This one is for kids ages 3 to 9.
We have story time, but this is more of like a kind of a traditional book club where there's a different book every month and we move it around to different branches. And also it's in the evening.
That is Kristen Sorth, director of the county library. She tells Total Information AM, you need to register for the Youth Book Club online, and the first date will be May 14th at the Grantsview branch.
The Gateway Grizzlies have announced they've signed a new broadcast partnership with us, Odyssey, for the 2026 season. Team GM Kurt Ringkamp.
We've been wanting to kind of expand our brand a little bit. In Odyssey is just nationally recognized, and obviously has great stations like KMOX right here. So we thought it'd be a good switch to kind of grow our fan base in the St. Louis area on a well-established app.
Just search Gateway Grizzlies on the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. The home opener is next Tuesday, May 12th.
It is 7:27, and the time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Give STL Day is still officially going on until 10 this morning. So if you haven't made your donations to your favorite nonprofits, you can still do that and have it on the leaderboard. But I would hope that you would give some money to the Humane Society of Missouri, because they do such an amazing job rescuing abused and neglected animals, and they are responsible for bringing my Lola to me. So I'm forever grateful for that. Also, just want to tell you about an upcoming event that you've probably heard of. Maybe you've participated in years past, but Bark in the Park is back. It's the 31st annual Bark in the Park, and it's next Saturday, May 16th at Tower Grove Park. It's one of the area's biggest and most fun family events. Of course, there is the 5K run and the 1 mile walk, and you do need to register for that, but all of the other stuff is free of charge. They'd love you to register. You get a swag bag, but it is a fun time in the park with you and your pooch and your family. And coming to Bark in the Park is this year's Puppy Bowl MVP winner. Did you know the MVP winner of the Puppy Bowl is from the Humane Society of Missouri? You can learn more at hsmo.org/bark. It's Bark in the Park next Saturday with the Humane Society of Missouri.
In St. Louis, the weather can change in an instant. Stay prepared for whatever Mother Nature throws your way. When weather threatens, the KMOX Storm Center has expert forecasts and live reports here to keep you safe and informed. Don't get caught off guard. Know your weather. Sponsored by
Saliga Heating and Cooling.
Lombardo Homes is known for quality, luxury, and thoughtful design in some of the area's most desirable communities. This season, we're continuing a limited spring opportunity, offering select enhancements designed to elevate your home and your experience. From a finished basement recreation room to premium kitchen and cabinet upgrades, or flexible options like design credits or closing cost savings. These offers are available in select communities for a limited time. Visit lombardohomes.com or stop by a sales office today.
At 7:30, we have sunny skies, 52 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch.
I'm Debbie Monterrey, and this is Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, if you're headed into Madison County, starting your day, your weekend, maybe you're taking a trip, whatever, just be advised they're doing road work. It'll be out there all day long into this evening, so not the exact end time on it. Eastbound 270, the right lane closed. 203 to 111, and the exit to 111 also closed right now. You have a backup approaching 203 on eastbound 270. It will not impact westbound drivers. This road work is only eastbound. Other than that, the rest of the highways continue to roll. I mean, 55 down in Festus, coming up to the Merrimack of the work zone, north of Bayless in the work zone into the city. Everything's on the go for you there. North 270 looks great. It's a little busy in the right lanes north of Manchester, headed up to the Clayton Road overpass, but all in all, not bad. Southbound 61, eastbound 70 and 64 coming out of Wentzville. Everything is good to go there. 64 both directions around the Interbelt, okay. And just a little slowdown westbound 64 briefly at 159 in that construction zone, but after that, you're good to go across the downtown bridges. Next update is 7:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast for today, we'll start with sunshine, and then we could see some storms and showers later on today. Expect a high of 74. Clear skies tonight with an overnight low of 53. And then a sunny, warm day tomorrow, a high of 82. Sunshine, 52 downtown at the Arch.
A judge is now deciding the fate of the St. Louis Police Department's budget following the conclusion of closing arguments on Thursday. The lawsuit centers on the 2025 state law that stripped the city of its police oversight and handed it to a state-appointed board with a minimum level of funding required from the city.
Testifying this week, Police Union President Martin Garcia said City Hall control left officers without basic resources.
I just think in general, there's been a lack of investment in infrastructure for the department and a lack of investment in the policemen themselves.
The residents suing argue that Missouri cannot legally force St. Louis to pay for a state-mandated board. They also stress that voters voted to manage their own police force in 2012. Both sides have until June 1st to file their final written briefs.
We're almost to 1 year Since the deadly tornado tore through North St. Louis, the mayor is now rolling out a major piece of the city's recovery plan, funded by money from the Rams settlement. The package directs $110 million to Northside tornado relief, plus $30 million to the water department, and a piece of it for downtown.
Asked why it took nearly a year, Mayor Kara Spencer said the city was waiting on answers from FEMA and the state.
Here we are with a much clearer picture of what our federal partners can do for our city and what they will not do for the city, as well as what the state is able to provide. And so here we are with the most flexible set of funds that the city has. And it would have been irresponsible, frankly, to start allocating those right off the bat when we were still jockeying for support from those larger pools of money, both the federal and the state at the state level.
Mayor says the federal disaster response under this administration has looked different from the past. Total tornado damage estimated at more than $2 billion.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's 7:33.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Mark Scores. The Chris and Amy Show. It's not the same old talk. It's fresh, it's different, and it's local. Chris and Amy dig into the news that matters, but they also keep it light, keep it fun, and keep you smiling. Serious when it needs to be, silly when it can be. That's pure entertainment with a local heartbeat. The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays at 9 on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. An elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Mizzou football will be here before you know it. Join us for the 100th anniversary of Memorial Stadium with season tickets. Join the season ticket waitlist at mutigers.com/FB waitlist and get ready to lock in tickets for 2026. The home schedule is highlighted by games against Florida, Texas A&M, Texas, Kentucky, and Oklahoma. Don't wait to reserve your spot. Join the waitlist at mutigers.com/FB waitlist. MIZ.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
With the new MyLowe's Pro Rewards American Express card, earn 3 points per dollar spent on Lowe's qualifying purchases for the first 6 months after card account opening. Plus, save 5% every day on eligible purchases at Lowe's and earn points on eligible purchases everywhere else Amex is accepted. Card members get more at Lowe's. Subject to credit approval. 5% can't be combined with any other offer. Exclusions and restrictions apply. Points subject to loyalty terms at Lowe's.com/terms and credit reward terms at Synchrony.com/MLPRA-terms. Visit Lowe's.com/business credit.
It is 5:36. This is Total Information AM and time for your money report, sponsored for you by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Cybersecurity company and web traffic manager Cloudflare is planning to slash 20% of its workforce. That's roughly 1,100 employees. Cloudflare is joining a number of firms in citing artificial intelligence as a driver of workforce cuts. Cloudflare has been trying to position itself as an infrastructure provider spanning security, networking, and developer services. The company says that its usage of AI has increased by 600% in the last 3 months alone. Investors are getting ready for the April jobs report this morning. The forecast is for a gain of 65,000 jobs and the unemployment rate expected to hold steady at 4.3%. Stock futures are seeing gains as Wall Street waits for that key data. And Converse plans to do more with fewer products. Sales at the sneaker company have been in free fall. Its newer styles haven't caught on with shoppers. Converse says it will focus on its classic Chuck Taylors and its Jack Purcell shoes over the next couple of seasons. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the Our Idea is Ready to Launch vision. This is the Create Great Jobs vision. This is the We Need More Space vision. This is Busey. where your business visions become realizations. Through securing capital for growth and comprehensive strategies that ensure a prosperous future. Because thriving businesses mean thriving people and thriving communities. UC Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Saving money on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Whether you're a bird enthusiast or you simply enjoy the sights and sounds of nature, our Enchanted Garden Wild Bird Seed Blends will keep birds coming back. Pick up a 20-pound bag on sale now through May 10. View our entire selection of wildlife products on Menards.com. Plus, check out our weekly flyer and find all of the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
All right, this may be a situation that you or someone you know is in. You or someone you love is aging in place at home, but needs help. At-home caregivers are in very short supply. So maybe you have a family member who is doing all of this labor right now, doing all of the helping, whether it's, meals, medication, bathing, mobility, all of that stuff. And it's getting a little overwhelming. But what if that person could get paid? Let me tell you about Freedom Care and get ready to jot down this number to get more information. Freedom Care was created, served over 160,000 families so far, has a 97% satisfaction rate. And through Medicaid, Freedom Care lets your family choose a trusted friend or relative as the caregiver, someone who already knows the routines, the needs, and the person who can help with all those things I mentioned. And it's 100% free to you. Freedom Care handles the paperwork, the training, the payroll. So the caregiver can focus on caring and get paid for it. If you're already caring for someone with Medicaid or you're ready to help, call Freedom Care at 314-947-5139. 314-947-5139. Freedom Care. Get paid to care for a loved one.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Call 877-WINDOWS. That's 877-WINDOWS. Or head to rbastl.com.
Want to build income without a second job? Learn how real estate investing can help you create extra income one step at a time with Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Let's see how things are moving this morning on the roads. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, normally this is the peak time of the rush hour, Megan, 7:40. So that's when we see our biggest delays. And right now, like I said, on a Friday, it is not bad. Eastbound 70 is a little busy running through Highway Z. After that, you're good to go across the Blanchette. Southbound 61 on the 64 is wide open. It's not even slow at the Interpelt. Just the ramps from 64 on the North 270 a little backed up. Westbound 64 still clear. North 270, there's a brief slowdown both sides of Gravois. North of Doherty Ferry up to about Clayton Road, it's just kind of busy after that. Northbound 55 from Festus all the way into the city looks good. Westbound 64 through Fairview Heights, good, clear on the bridges, and we do have this road work back up. More of a slowdown now, I guess, but it's still heavy. The right lane's closed eastbound 270 from 203 to 111, and that 111 exit is also closed all day long. Slow going approaching 203 into the area right now. Next update at 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
All right, thank you, Roger. It looks like we have a beautiful day in store. Let's get the very latest from our AccuWeather meteorologist, Joe Lundberg. I mean, beautiful for now. It's really beautiful.
For now. Yeah. We've got some sunshine. The nice breeze is starting to pick up, but there are a lot of clouds upstream to our west. These are going to be spilling in as we go through the rest of the morning hours. And eventually we're going to have to deal with a couple of showers and maybe a heavier thunderstorm during the course of the afternoon and evening hours. Those thunderstorms could be, I'd say, a little frisky with some gusty winds, hail, and some downpours And again, that window is probably mid to late afternoon and early evening. Ahead of it, we'll get to about 73, 74 for high today. Behind it, skies clear, and by morning, we're going to be down in the low to mid-50s. Tomorrow, much nicer day. A lot of sunshine, just a few clouds. Our high reaches 82. Much cooler for Sunday. We start with cloud and a couple of showers, end with some sun, but in between, we're only going to get to about 67. More sunshine Monday, the high 74. We'll get to 79 on Tuesday as clouds increase. Could lead to an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Right now, it's 53 at St. Peter's, 54 in Florissant, 56 with sunshine and some clouds downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
I'm Joe Pott. The NCAA will expand both the men's and women's tournaments. I'll tell you more about that straight ahead in sports.
Tracking them down. I'm Fred Bottomer with 60 Seconds to Better Health. Health officials are tracing the contacts of passengers who were on a cruise ship that was infected with the hantavirus. 3 people have died and another passenger is in critical condition.
This is not COVID. I think we all have PTSD from COVID, including a cruise ship with an outbreak. This is not COVID. The mechanism of transmission is different. The CDC has activated their emergency operations center, which shows that they're taking this seriously, and is sending passenger lists to state and local health departments to track those people down and follow up. Quarantine in this case would be longer than 3 weeks than for Ebola because the incubation period for hantavirus is longer. In big picture, if anybody was exposed, they would want to stay, rationally speaking, near a hospital because if you do start to get worse and develop severe hantavirus disease, you may need ECMO, which is the heart-lung bypass machine, and not every hospital even has that. So you would want to be near that kind of hospital.
With 60 Seconds to Better Health, I'm Fred Bottomer.
As the conflict with Iran continues, the price of gas and oil continues to climb. Henrietta Trey's, co-founder and director of economic policy research at Veda Partners, spoke to CBS News about how high she expects the cost of a gallon of gas to go.
Right now, we'll probably be at $4.90 by next week. We could be at $5 by Memorial Day. And unless the strait reopens, we are going to go above $5.
The April employment report is due for release later today. We get more from CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
So far, the war in the Middle East and rising gas prices have not had any significant impact on the labor market. If high gas prices persist, there could be some changes in the labor market, but that remains to be seen.
Artificial intelligence emerging as a top cause of job layoffs.
I'm Michael Toscano in Washington. April was the second month in a row AI was the leading reason companies signed for layoffs, according to data from outplacement firm Challenger Gray and Christmas. 26% have eliminated cuts. Their analysis says some tech firms are shifting spending away from labor to direct more capital investment toward AI. Quote, whether individual jobs are being replaced by AI, the money for those roles is. Michael Toscano, CBS News, Washington.
Well, it is official. The NCAA made it official yesterday. They have approved the expansion of both the men's and women's basketball tournaments from 64 to 76 teams. Now, very short explanation. What the expansion means is that the 12 lowest seeded at-large teams and the 12 lowest seeded automatic qualifiers, they will now play in an expanded opening round on Tuesday and Wednesday of the NCAA March Madness tournament. After a win last night in San Diego, the Cardinals are 22-15. That's the fourth best record in the National League. But the Cards stay 3.5 games back of the Cubs in the National League Central. The Cubs are now tied for the best record in all of baseball as they win again yesterday. It is now a 9-game winning streak for the Cubs. A fourth inning yesterday that saw them score 7 runs helped them complete a 4-game sweep of the Reds with an 8-3 win at Wrigley. The Cubs have won 15 straight games at home. That's the longest home winning streak since an 18-game streak, and get this, September of 1935. St. Louis City midfielder Edward Leuven spoke publicly for the first time since losing his wife earlier this year to cancer. Jen Cease was there.
St. Louis City SC midfielder Edward Leuven is continuing his return to the pitch after stepping away following the death of his wife, Alona. Speaking publicly for the first time on Thursday, Leuven thanked the St. Louis community, his teammates, coaches, and supporters for helping him through the past few months.
Beyond grateful and overwhelmed by all the love, by all the support. I cannot thank all these people enough.
Edu says being back with the team has helped him heal even as he continues to grieve.
It's very helpful to be out there with the guys, with the team. I've never had a team like that before. Such a support and such a joy to come to training, to travel with the guys, to be back on the pitch and play. Yet at the same time, that doesn't mean that I'm just doing fine and everything is okay. But I know that I have a long way ahead of me, and that's okay.
Leuven also called the support from City fans truly amazing, especially seeing tributes to his wife at Energizer Park. With the City Spotlight, I'm Jen Cease, KMOX Sports.
City will play at Colorado tomorrow night. It's an 8:30 Central Time kickoff. You can hear that on our sister station, Y98. You'll be able to hear Gateway Grizzlies games on the Odyssey app this season. They opened their season on the road last night.
The Gateway Grizzlies could not get their bats going on Thursday night in their season opener in Mississippi, falling to the Mud Monsters in Pearl at Trustmark Park by a final score of 5-2. With an update on the Gateway Grizzlies of the Frontier League, I'm the voice of the Grizzlies, Jason Garrett. The Grizzlies' bats were quieted by Mississippi starter Preston Johnson, who twirled 6 shutout innings, striking out 8 with no walks to earn the win. Gateway would get on the board in the top of the 8th inning on a 2-run home run by Victor Castillo, their first home run of 2026, but it was not enough to erase the deficit. They will look to bounce back in the middle game of the 3-game series Friday night at 6:30 Central Time back at Trustmark Park on the Grizzlies Media Network, powered by Odyssey.com and the free Odyssey app.
It's the Cards and the Padres tonight here on KMOX. It's an 8:40 first pitch, 7:45 with Ameren Total Access. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
At EasyCater, we believe every workday gets better with great food. Like that morning status meeting, always better with bagels. And don't forget the coffee. Ops team working late? How about some Power Bowls to keep them going strong? Sandy's celebrating 10 years at the company. This calls for cupcakes. With EasyCater, you get a huge variety of favorite restaurants with tools to help meet dietary needs and stay on budget, all on one platform. So make every workday better with EasyCater. Start an order at easycater.com.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Turning 50 doesn't mean slowing down. It means getting smarter about your health. That's why we created Neovitin Men's 50 Plus Multivitamin. It's doctor formulated to support your energy, immune health, and overall vitality. Plus, it's made in the U.S. using the finest domestic and international ingredients. Take control of your health with supplements you can trust. Look for Neovitin Men's 50 Plus at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, or online at neovitin.com. Neovitin, made for men who keep moving forward.
On Saturday, May 16th, join KMOX and Grassroots Redeeming Love in commemorating 1 year since the historic EF3 tornado that devastated North St. Louis with a short morning of service. Volunteers will meet in the Kingsway East neighborhood from 9 to 11 to help clear tree limbs and trash. If interested in RSVPing for the cleanup or interested in donating to the effort, go to KMOX.com/events for more information.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 7:51, and we have to get to Roger Brand. He is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, the highways are just an easy run out there this morning, Debbie. I mean, we're really through the peak of the morning commute. Right now, we have slow traffic on northbound 270, Tesson Ferry through Gravois, about midway to 44. It's just slow through there. After that, there's a little slowdown north of Manchester. The ramps from 64 onto North 270 through that Ladue work zone are backed up. Eastbound 70, barely slow at Highway Z. If you're on any run after that, eastbound 70 looks great. 55 from Festus all the way up through between Bayless and Weber. It's just a little slow. Eastbound 64 is just a little slow passing Hanley. So, again, not a big deal. On the Illinois side, you've got the backup on eastbound 270. Approaching 203 to 111, that right lane's closed, and the exit at 111 is also closed all day today for road work, and that's the only jam we have there. Otherwise, Illinois interstates are looking good. Next update at 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast for today, we're going to start out with sunshine, increasing clouds as we head through the day. It'll be breezy. We may see a couple of showers and a thunderstorm into evening. a high around 74 today. Clear skies tonight, a low of 53, and then sun and warm conditions tomorrow, a high of 82. We have 51 degrees in Florissant, 50 in St. Peter's, 52 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:52. Navigating the narrow work zones on Interstate 70 has become a highly stressful experience for many mid-Missouri drivers. On windy days, the lack of a shoulder leaves virtually zero room for error when boxed in alongside trucks.
MoDOT Project Director Eric Kopinski tells the Dave Glover Show on KMOX the heavy concrete walls are non-negotiable for worker safety, meaning drivers have to be the ones to change their habits.
That concrete barrier is our number one safety item that we have. So it creates an uncomfortable driving condition at times, but if you are traveling the speed limit, and in some cases that's all the way down to 50 or 55 miles an hour, if you're traveling that speed limit, you will make it through there safely.
State Highway Patrol and local police actively monitoring the 200-mile stretch between Wentzville and Kansas City. Kopinski warns failing to drop your speed is the primary danger within those tight corridors.
Lines were long outside Circle K yesterday when the gas station offered a 40-cent per gallon discount for 3 hours. Prices in the St. Louis area are averaging $4.30. In the Metro East, it's $4.92 on average. They're offering a 50-cent discount on these, or I guess that should be 7-Eleven is offering a 50-cent discount on the 7th and 11th of each month through July. You do have to download an app and sign up to be a loyalty club member to get that discount.
Part of the Rams settlement money Mayor Kara Spencer is putting on the table is aimed at downtown, and she expects the business community to help foot the bill. Alongside $110 million for North St. Louis tornado recovery and $30 million for the water department, the package includes a downtown investment.
I'm confident our business community will come to the table with a match. We've been in long discussions with them. I think, I recognize that the investment in downtown may not be at what our business community was hoping for in some ways. We have a lot of competing interests here.
Even with private sector help, the mayor frames the Rams money as finite.
A new summer work program is giving priority to young adults impacted by the tornado.
The Summer Youth Empowerment Program places young adults between the ages of 19 and 24 in internships that fit their career goals. Program Director Alan Perkins says they're looking to employ 100 young adults in the area and that recruitment efforts are focused on youth affected by last year's tornado.
I mean, the cry is out there. We've seen it everywhere. We've seen it, on the news. We've seen it. We see the need. The need is definitely out there. And hey, we're hoping that we can serve even more.
Participating young adults can work up to 40 hours per week for 10 weeks and will earn $20 per hour. Perkins said the hope is that most of the internships will lead to full-time positions. Jade Aubrey, KMOX News.
For the first time ever, the city of St. Louis will be hosting a teen summer camp for ages 13 through 18. Lawrence with the city's recreation division has more on what's being called cinematic healing.
They'll be coming through for about 10 weeks, learning costume design, makeup, directing, and they'll be producing a short film. And at the end, they'll be showing the film.
There's no charge to attend. The city of St. Louis also holding no-cost summer camp for ages 6 through 12 at 7 centers between June 1st and August 7th.
It is 7:55, and you are listening to Total Information AM.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Lederman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Lederman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Lederman Law Firm at ledermanlaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Battlehawks fans, get ready. Friday, May 8th at 7 p.m. It's St. Louis versus the Columbus Aviators. It's Friday Night Lights. Get your tickets at uflbattlehawks.com. United, we battle.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Let's see how things are going on the roads this morning. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's no complaints out there right now, Megan. We had an incident north 270 just north of Gravois. It's still bogged down at Tesson Ferry, heavy going through there. After that, it's just a little busy approaching Clayton Road. Those ramps, east or westbound 64 onto north 270 backed up. It looks like eastbound 64 is the worst of the bunch there, but just, again, on the ramps themselves. Eastbound 64, otherwise, just a little slow from 170 through Hanley. Southbound 170, looks like we have an incident just south of Natural Bridge. There's a backup there. We'll check on that for you. On the Illinois side, things are looking pretty good, except for that road work delay. That right lane closed, eastbound 270, 203 to 111, and the 111 exit also closed. Traffic backs up approaching 203, and eastbound 64 approaching 159, and east of Green Mountain Road looks a little heavy. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Friday, May the 8th. I'm Debbie Monterrey. Missouri regulators are concerned about how many Missourians could be victims of a massive healthcare data breach. We'll go in depth after the news.
In case you missed it, Total Information AM catches you up on the week's top stories. Listen at 8:24.
How much would moms earn if they were paid for all the work they do? We'll get a number at 8:30.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Some sunshine will give way to increasing clouds today, becoming breezy and warmer with a shower and thunderstorm around this afternoon. Our high 74.
Make sure you stick around for CBS News. The U.S. military says it's launched self-defense strikes on Iran after 3 Navy destroyers came under missile fire.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Who said the jobs market's been foundering? Payrolls actually defied expectations in April. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
The economy added 115,000 jobs during the month. That's about double the number that analysts were expecting. The unemployment rate remained at 4.3%, unchanged from the previous month, and average hourly earnings were up by 3.6% from a year ago.
Healthcare led the way. Transportation and retail followed. Unemployment held steady at 4.3%, and Dow futures are up 190 on the news. Hopeful words from Secretary of State Rubio on prospects for a U.S.-Iran peace agreement. Speaking in Rome, he says he expects to hear from Tehran today.
We're expecting a response from them. We'll see what the response entails. The hope is it's something that it can put us into a serious process of negotiation.
Rubio also says Iran's claims of ownership over the Strait of Hormuz, an international waterway, are unacceptable. Yesterday, President Trump called a new exchange of fire with Iran a love tap. The administration began releasing new files on UFOs this past hour. Correspondent Cammie McCormick.
The Pentagon released the files, but the effort is also being led by the White House and Director of National Intelligence, among others. The Pentagon said in a post on X that President Trump is focused on providing maximum transparency, but Americans can ultimately make up their own minds. It also says additional documents will be released on a rolling basis.
A small group of Republicans in Congress had been pressing for transparency. Tennessee's Tim Burchett is thanking President Trump today for keeping his word. The online learning platform Canvas is back up and running at schools across the country from kindergarten through college. A hacking group calling itself Shiny Hunters threatened to leak private messages unless a ransom was paid by next Tuesday. CBS's Jolene Kent.
Overnight, the parent company of Canvas, Instructure, posted that the platform is now available again to most users, but it's still not clear if the company fixed the problem on its own or paid the ransom to hackers. We've reached out to the company for comment and have not yet heard back.
Some schools reporting a growing number of kindergartners aren't potty trained, and they're not impressed. CBS's Michael Wallace.
This is a big distraction for our schools.
John Legg is the school superintendent in Pasco County, Florida.
It is not the kindergartners' teachers' responsibility to be changing diapers for kindergartners.
Beginning this fall, Pasco County schools will send students who are not potty trained home for a week so their parents can train them.
This is CBS News.
Every Sunday, moderator Margaret Brennan goes face-to-face with top leaders to make you better informed. Face the Nation, Sunday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I went to Staples for a custom-printed graduation banner and invites and saw that Party City is now at Staples.
Wait, what?
Party City is now at Staples.
So now Staples has balloons?
Yep.
Decorations?
Yes.
Streamers, cups, table covers?
Yep, Staples has everything for a party. And now buy two, get one free on select foil balloons.
Holy confetti! So the best parties start at Staples.
That was easy.
In 613 select stores, exclusions apply. In-store or buy online. Pick up in-store only.
At 8:03, we have sunny skies, 57 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Friday, May 8th. I'm Megan Lynch. A judge now deciding the fate of the St. Louis Police Department's budget following the conclusion of closing arguments yesterday. The lawsuit centers on the 2025 state law that stripped the city of police oversight and handed it to a state-appointed board. Testifying this week, Police Union President Martin Garcia said City Hall control left officers without basic resources.
I just think in general, there's been a lack of investment in infrastructure for the department and a lack of investment in the policemen themselves.
Residents suing argue that Missouri can't legally force St. Louis to pay for a state-mandated board. They also stress voters decided to manage their own police force in 2012. Plaintiff Jamala Rogers.
St. Louis and St. Louis, the only St. Louis and Kansas City are the only two cities that don't have local control. So something seems fundamentally wrong with that picture.
Both sides have until June 1st to file their final written briefs.
We will work tirelessly to defeat any attempts to defund the police.
That's Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway in Jefferson City after the police control trial's closing arguments.
Today's arguments further validated the strength of our case. We're honored to defend and support law enforcement, both inside the courtroom and in the community.
Mayor Spencer has argued she doesn't want to defund the police, but is worried that escalating new costs could force tough decisions elsewhere. She was called to testify in this week's Arch City Defender's case against state control, which is separate from her case against state control.
The enormous amount of additional work having a state-controlled police board has caused the city of St. Louis the far additional cost and legal, a whole host of things.
Spencer's been at odds with the state police board ever since it claimed its spending amount was mandated by state law earlier this year. Government officials once again touting the accomplishments of Operation Relentless Pursuit. That task force started last year to crack down on residents with felony warrants. The Missouri Department of Public Safety says operation efforts last week led to 25 arrests. They range from a 24-year-old wanted for first-degree rape to a 59-year-old wanted for escape from custody. The department says the operation has led to more than 1,400 arrests since it started a little less than a year ago. Madison County jury just came back with a guilty verdict on a Veterans Day 2022 rape case that began with a random encounter at a Collinsville drive-thru.
Prosecutors allege 39-year-old Timothy Dubois approached a 21-year-old Missouri woman's car outside a Starbucks and threatened her life with a knife. Investigators testified they were able to gather evidence showing Dubois forced the victim to drive to a remote Troy, Illinois location, then sexually assaulted her. They said Apple Watch technology played a part in finding a crime scene and linking the suspect to it. Brad Choate, KMOX News.
Boeing, after moving its defense headquarters back to town and investing billions into new manufacturing, now wants to spruce up its surroundings. KMOX's Michael Calhoun has more.
The company says it'll fund cleanup efforts in the historic North St. Louis County town that residents have been fighting to revive after years of illegal dumping. It's right in Boeing's backyard, and employees will be hands-on with the work. KMOX's Charlie Brennan has held cleanup events like this over the years in Kinloch and spotlighted the problem. Kinloch officials have given hints about this, but we'll really hear from them coming up later this morning at a news conference.
Starting at 9 a.m., Boeing officials will start cleaning up and recycling 11 tons of dumped tires in Kinloch. Today is Give St. Louis Day, the 12th annual event centered around donating to local nonprofits. It runs until 10 a.m. tomorrow. Currently, the online donation page has received more than $1.2 million since the site went live at midnight. You can go to givestltoday.org. From the KMOX business desk, the 61-member Teamsters at Breakthrough Beverage, Missouri's St. Louis operation, are on strike. Local 688 says after months of negotiations, workers hit the picket lines, refusing to accept a contract that falls short of Teamsters standards. No comment from Breakthrough Beverage. It's now 8:08. Traffic and weather together in 2 minutes.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey, more like Mira joyed that Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
Let's check the roads now with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, things are doing all right. In fact, we had an incident on 170, Megan, earlier. I mentioned some delays coming down through Natural Bridge. I see some cars on the left shoulder northbound in the area, but the delays we had have thinned out, so it looks like we're okay there. Not much going on the highways. That ramp from eastbound 64 to North 270 still backed up. North 270, the only delays are Tesson Ferry through Gravois. We had an incident just north of Gravois earlier, so it's still heavy through there. I believe that incident's still on the shoulder. 55 looks great from Festus into downtown. 64 coming in through Fairview Heights, clear on the bridges. We do have the road work, more of a slowdown than a jam, but you still have delays on eastbound 270, approaching 203 to 111. That right lane's closed through that area, and the exit to 111 is also closed all day long. That road work expected to wrap up sometime this evening. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Some sunshine will give way to clouds today. It'll become breezy and warmer this afternoon with a high of 74, but watch out for a couple of showers and a thunderstorm this afternoon and evening. There can be some downpours, gusty winds, and hail with any thunderstorm. Then clearing later tonight, till 53. Tomorrow, sunshine and some clouds and warmer, high 82. Much cooler Sunday, cloud and a couple of showers followed by some afternoon sun. Sunday's high just 67. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We have sunny skies this morning, 54 degrees in Florissant, 58 in St. Peter's, 57 downtown at the Arch. This is Total Information AM on 104.1 FM KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. This morning, we're telling you about what's now believed to be one of the largest healthcare-related data breaches on record. Your private information could be compromised, but there's still a lot that's unknown. Missouri regulators are getting very little cooperation from the company at the center of that cyber attack. That company is Conduent. It's a vendor that provides document processing services, including insurance claim forms, payment services, and other support to insurance companies, including Blue Cross Blue Shield. I spoke with Angela Nelson, director of the Missouri Department of Commerce and Insurance. Give us a sense of what's going on here with Conduent. When I looked at the dates on this, it looks like this is something that's been going on for quite a while. What's been the challenge for the department?
The biggest challenge for us, Megan, at this particular point in time is just trying to understand the scope of what has actually occurred. And because Conduent is a company that provides services to insurance companies, we haven't been able to, obviously we don't know all the insurance companies that have been impacted because we don't know who contracts with Conduent. So obviously we went straight to the source to ask them if they would tell us, just matter-of-factly, how many Missourians were impacted. And so we can just make sure that to the extent that any of those are insurance consumers, that the proper notices were sent to those impacted Missourians so that they know that their data has been breached, and to the extent there were assistive services that were offered by Conduent, they have the fair opportunity to take advantage of those just like everybody else across the country. So that's been our main obstacle, is just trying to get information from Conduent just on the size and the number of Missourians impacted.
Why has that been such a challenge, getting that information out of them?
That's a question probably best left to them. They have told us that they cannot provide us the information. So that's kind of why we have to resort to actually reaching out to the industry directly. And through that bulletin that we have issued, I've asked insurance companies if they've contracted with Conduent to notify us, and then we will take an investigation up from there.
What does the law require in a situation like this?
So generally speaking, we actually had a cyber breach law that went into effect January 1st of this year, 2026. So prior to that, this breach would have just been covered under general legal provisions that just require, insurance entities to notify us if they've had a breach. But we've had some changes that went into effect as of January 1st of 2026. So right now, because of when this breach occurred, it would have fallen under the old laws. And so it's just basically a notification. Now there's a little bit more consumer protection built around, the types of notices, the timing of the notices, and what types of post-breach assistance should be provided to consumers.
So when it comes to consumers, what could have been exposed of their personal information?
So again, all I have to rely on is what I have been able to find that is publicly available in media reports. So what I understand from media reports is that there was a ransomware group that gained access to the Conduent system and had access from October of 2024 through January of 2025. So it was a long period of time that these bad actors had access to their systems, and that they really had what others have characterized as the holy grail of personally identifiable information. So full names and physical addresses, social security numbers, detailed medical histories and diagnosis codes, as well as other health insurance claim information. So, we talk about and I'll pivot just a little bit. We talk about what things that folks should be doing, when they get these notifications. And we certainly understand, unfortunately, I guess, because of the sign of the times, everybody has a bit of a breach fatigue, right? We get a lot of these notices routinely, it seems, anymore. And I'm hoping that Missourians are still paying attention to that, because there's a number of things that they should be doing, like, there are suggestions to freeze your credit, but I think we would actually recommend that folks do routine checks of their credit report, not just freeze their credit reports, but to check their credit reports regularly. I would say it's a good idea when you're using online accounts, to change your passwords after you've had a breach notification, and wherever possible to use a two-factor authentication. Again, that'll kind of help prevent those bad actors from getting into your online accounts and causing you any further damage. But I think, again, with what we know from publicly available information on this conduit, I think the thing that's different about this one is the potential misuse of health insurance information. And so the one thing that I really want to emphasize with this one, more than I would potentially other breaches, is that Missourians really need to watch those EOBs, or explanation of benefit forms, that come from their health insurance plan, and go through those and check to make sure that what is coming through on those EOBs are actually their health insurance claims. Because what we could have happening is these bad actors could be using their personal information, their health insurance plan information, and either getting healthcare services or submitting bogus claims to their health insurance plan. And that's obviously a huge problem for everybody. So that's one angle to this particular one that I would want to highlight above everything else.
Let's say someone does get that explanation of benefits and they see something that looks fishy. Who do they reach out to?
They should be reaching out to their health insurance plan immediately, because their health insurance plan needs to know that there was a potentially fraudulent claim submitted to them. So I would tell them to look at the phone numbers on that EOB and reach out immediately to their health insurance plan and let them know.
Director, this is kind of sickening to hear, and I'm sure it will cause, some alarm. How confident are you that insurance companies in the state will cooperate and give you information so that, you can figure out how many people might be impacted?
I have every confidence that our industry here in Missouri will be responsive to my request, and that we will be able to do an investigation and be able to get that information and assure ourselves that Missourians were protected.
How long could that take, realistically?
That's more of a difficult thing. I'm hoping that we can get information back from our insurance industry representatives, within the next 30 to 45 days, and hopefully we'll be able to make those estimations and be able to get ourselves in a comfortable position of knowing that everything is as it's reported to be in the press.
That is Angela Nelson, Director of the Missouri Department of Commerce and Insurance, speaking to us on the Quiver River Electric Gas Line. Let's get the situation on the roads now with Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're still looking pretty good, Megan, on the roadways. We do have a little slowdown going up the hill from Doherty Ferry to Manchester on North 270. The right lane's approaching Clayton Road. After that, the ramps from East and West 64 on to North 270, a little congested as well. Westbound 64, the right lane's getting onto the Interbelt, are a little busy in Richmond Heights. North 170 through Delmar looks a little off the pace. Other than that, the rest of the interstates are looking good on the Missouri side. On the Illinois side, we have that roadwork delay, a jam on eastbound 270 approaching 203 into 111. The right lane through there and the exit lane to 111, the exit ramp, is also closed for the entirety of the day. Hope to wrap up sometime this evening. And I'm also seeing backed up traffic, more so southbound than northbound, but Route 3 coming down between 8th Street and Queenie. There's a lot of congestion, but like I said, southbound actually looks a little worse right now. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Make sure you keep your eye on the weather today. It looks like we may see some showers and thunderstorms as we head later in the day into the evening. It will be warmer today with a high of 74 degrees, clearing tonight, an overnight low of 53, and then more sun than clouds tomorrow, warm with a high of 82. We have 54 degrees in Florissant, 58 in St. Peters, and sunshine, 57 downtown at the Arch.
Selling a home can be very stressful. There are so many things to think about, but if you have the right agent, you don't need to sweat all those details. So when you're interviewing agents, and I think you should, because you shouldn't just go with your neighbor's brother-in-law's friend. You should go with Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And you can ask Gloria all the questions you want because she is St. Louis's real estate expert and she guarantees that she'll sell your home. And she has many different ways to sell a home. That's the other thing. There's a traditional way of just sticking a sign in the yard and saying, we're going to have a bunch of open houses. Works sometimes, doesn't work all the time. In fact, some of Gloria's best customers are people who are switching agents, maybe several times until they get to Gloria, and then their home is sold just like that. Gloria's upfront written guarantee is simple. She will sell your home at the price and time frame acceptable to you, or she'll buy it herself. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. 314-325-6888. 314-325-6888 or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
1 in 4 people surveyed by Bankrate.com say they're literally losing sleep because of worries that they may have not saved enough to retire. If you're ready to get serious about planning for your financial future, you could start by listening to the All Financial Hour with host Steve Auld of the All Financial Group.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different. If you want assistance, we can also help you at that point.
Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6. Right here on KMOX.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
In case you missed it, every Friday, Total Information AM looks back at this week's top local stories. Some jitters on Monday as tornado sirens sounded, but forecasters weren't the ones sounding the alarm. Every first Monday of the month, St. Louis City tests its tornado sirens, but with rainy weather moving through, St. Louis County scrubbed its test and the city decided to follow.
It appears that when we discontinued the test with just, a minute and a half to go before the computer went into its testing program, that the program had already began to run and it started to activate all the sirens.
It fired a couple of hours later, causing a lot of alarm. Ultimately, officials determined it was a computer coding issue that left the siren test in queue. Across the river, St. Clair County sirens sounded after Smithton police saw a possible tornado near a school. The National Weather Service never issued a tornado warning. Meteorologists there determined there was rotation, but not enough organization for a tornado to reach the ground. They did issue a severe thunderstorm warning.
Just because we say it's a severe thunderstorm warning, I don't want people to think, oh, good, it's only a severe thunderstorm warning. We're still talking about damaging winds, large hail potential.
That's National Weather Service meteorologist in charge, Brian Haynes. Police were called to Busch Stadium for a stabbing in the early morning hours Monday. Police spokesman Mitch McCoy says there was an argument between two people working for a third-party cleaning crew.
It has nothing to do with the Cardinals, and it has nothing to do with Busch Stadium itself, other than they were third-party contractors working for the stadium doing overnight stuff.
Ultimately, no charges were filed. The circuit attorney's office saying investigations involve complex legal questions, including issues related to self-defense. In the county, a multi-million-dollar push to curb violent crime hit a roadblock. UMSL criminologist Lee Slocum pointed to the county's latest crime trajectory as a reason to act fast.
I want to encourage you to move forward with urgency. In St. Louis County, homicides are up 28% this year. If we don't want that trend to continue, it's important to do something now.
The Save Lives Now program includes street outreach and cognitive behavioral therapy in high-risk areas. The council shelved a vote on the initiative. Nature getting our attention this week, especially when you're talking about jumping worms. Yes, invasive jumping worms have been confirmed in Missouri. Angela Sokolowski with the Department of Conservation says they're a problem.
They have really different feeding behaviors than earthworms or other worms. They focus their feeding on the organic layer of decomposing material right at the surface of the soil, and they don't make vertical burrows that help that earthworms do that would help aerate the soil.
That means the surface level dries out. It makes nutrients unavailable for plants and ultimately affects the whole food web. She says if you spray something to kill them, you affect all the creatures in the soil. And the online content I've been watching all week is the Falcon Cam. Peregrine falcon chicks have hatched in Franklin County, and you can watch their nest by webcam. Jeff Messick, Deputy Director at World Bird Sanctuary, says watch while you can because those chicks could fly within 6 weeks.
It's not uncommon for these young falcons when they're taking their first flight to actually go all the way to the ground and be on the ground for a little while. And then maybe their second flight might not be as graceful as later flights, but then after that they start gaining their coordination pretty quickly.
Peregrine falcons were at one time on the endangered species list. You can follow KMOX News on X, Facebook, Instagram, and you can always listen back to Total Information AM any time of day on the Odyssey app. That's spelled AUDACY. Still ahead on Total Information AM. How much is mom worth in salary? We're going to find out next. It's now 8:27, and this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
Tomorrow, some of us will wake up and it will be our last day on this earth. It will be unexpected and without warning. Each year, 250,000 people will die from medical malpractice, the third leading cause of death in America. 43,000 will die in a car or truck crash. 6,000 will die working on the job. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, and we represent many of these families. It's awful. Unfortunately, many times some of these family members are not speaking and never get to say, I'm sorry or goodbye. If you're at odds with a loved one, listen closely. Pick up the phone. Call them. Say you're sorry. I promise a huge burden will be lifted from your heart and your soul will be renewed. Even if you're not wrong in your own mind, it doesn't matter. Death is bad enough. Death without closure and love will follow you the rest of your days. Trust me on this. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
8:30. Let's see how things are moving out there with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, not much of a concern out there. I think it may have just been a moving operation, Megan, on northbound 170. I can't see. Well, no, now I can't see. It looks like there's something it's on the ramp from Delmar to northbound 170. That ramp is blocked. So it looks like you can't get on from Delmar to north 170. Delays back pretty close to Ladue on north 170 right now. It's bumper to bumper briefly through there, so just be prepared. Southbound is not bothered by it. Northbound 270 north of Manchester still a little busy. Approaching 64 up to Ladue. Those ramps are still a little congested as well. Otherwise, on the Missouri side, we're in good shape. We do have an injured crash West Florissant at Ferguson. They're on the scene dealing with that. Still have delays, primarily southbound Route 3, Monsanto down to Queenie backed up. And, of course, we still have this jam eastbound 270 approaching 203 to 111. The right lane closed and the exit to 111 closed through the remainder of the day. And there's also some heavy traffic on 55 north of 143. It looks like southbound primarily there. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast for today from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, we could see some storms today as we head into the afternoon and early evening. Otherwise, we're going to have sunshine, breezy, and warm, a high of 74 today. Clear later tonight with a low of 53, and then more sun and clouds tomorrow, pleasantly warm with a high of 82. Sunny skies now, 57 degrees downtown at the Arch. The average CEO running an American company is making nearly $19 million a year. But some people say that average CEO doesn't even come close to doing the work of a mom. Before 8 a.m., some mothers say they've already been a chef, a therapist, a hostage negotiator, a chauffeur, and an employee with deadlines of their own. And according to a new study from salary.com, all of that unpaid labor would actually be worth more than $160,000 a year.
I looked at it like as a base salary. It's a base salary.
That's Natalie King, a working mother of 5 with Family Circle, who says moms are constantly juggling responsibility.
Not only was I juggling the responsibilities of motherhood as a new mother, I was also, establishing my career, and I could not even imagine if I had to tally up all of the hours that I did as I did at work with my law firm for what I did as a mother.
The report says motherhood today looks more like managing several full-time jobs at once, all while trying to keep the household running smoothly. And while most moms aren't expecting a paycheck, King says moms just simply want to feel seen and appreciated. And I can tell you it's all worth it and a huge blessing. Your Money Report coming up next here on KMOX.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Your Money Report now here on KMOX. It's sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
This is the Bloomberg Money Minute. Investing giant Fidelity is handing out pink slips. The company is cutting 800 staffers as it restructures its technology and product delivery teams. However, Fidelity is planning to hire several thousand more people. The financial firm says it's looking to make more room for early career roles. Fidelity has increased its headcount by well over 50% in the past decade, hiring in areas such as financial planning. Well, the markets are bracing for the April jobs report this morning. Market watchers are looking for signs that the labor market is stabilizing. Economists surveyed by Bloomberg expect a modest increase of 65,000 jobs. Futures are seeing gains and stocks are looking to test all-time highs. And Paramount, Skydance, and Warner Music will partner to make movies based on the lives of famous singers and bands. Warner Music's roster includes artists such as Madonna, Frank Sinatra, Cher, Fleetwood Mac, and David Bowie. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Many people prefer to age in place, meaning stay in their home. But right now there is a short supply of at-home health caregivers, as you probably already know. Families are stretched thin. So if you're a family member who is helping to care for a loved one and you're at your wit's end because there's a lot going on in life, you need to know about Freedom Care. Get ready to write down a number that you should call today. Freedom Care, where you get paid to care for a loved one. Freedom Care was created just for this. More than 160,000 families served already, 97% satisfaction rate. Through Medicaid, Freedom Care lets your family choose a trusted friend or relative to be the caregiver, someone who already knows your loved one and your loved one's routines and needs. This could be help with meals, medication, bathing, mobility, all while getting paid, sometimes daily. No rotating strangers, no making a million phone calls. It's Freedom Care, where you get paid to care for a loved one. Call 314-947-5139. That's 314-947-5139.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Hey guys, are you dealing with low energy, weight gain, or issues in the bedroom? Well, Game Day Men's Health is the premier men's health clinic in the St. Louis area with locations in Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. They specialize in low testosterone and sexual health, but they also help men and women with medical weight loss, vitamins, and peptides. They offer free consultations and testosterone tests with results in about 20 minutes. So get in, get answers, and get back to the top of your game with Game Day Men's Health. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Taking care of your health should be simple. And with the NeoVitan monthly subscription, it finally is. Choose your doctor-formulated multivitamin and we'll deliver it straight to your door every month. No more running out, no more remembering to reorder, just consistent nutrition made easy. Plus, subscribers save 10% every month and can pause or cancel at any time. Visit neovitan.com and start your subscription today. NeoVitan, trusted nutrition every day.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Each year in St. Louis, 10 women are recognized for volunteer leadership that changes lives. They support families, strengthen communities, and create opportunities where they're needed most. Join us Tuesday, May 19th at the Ritz-Carlton for the 2026 Women of Achievement Awards Luncheon. Celebrate their impact and be part of a tradition more than 70 years strong. Reservations available at WOASTL.org. For more information, go to KingdomOX.com/events.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Show, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. The latest data from AAA shows the price of a gallon of regular gasoline in the U.S. has climbed 31 cents in the past week. It's now 52% higher than before the Iran war began. The Trump administration says it will start revoking passports of Americans who owe child support. And the United States Postal Service is considering a rule change that would allow anyone to send handguns through the mail for the first time in nearly 100 years. Let's see if things are winding down on the roads. It hasn't been too bad anyway. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, Megan, the only place we have some trouble, well, of course, we have the road work on the Illinois side, so we still have the delays. Eastbound 270 is still backed up 203 to 111. The right lane's closed through there, and the exit to 111 is also closed for the entirety of the day. They hope that the wrap-up time for IDOT was this evening, so not sure exactly when that'll be. We'll have to see how it goes. And we still have this incident, before the on-ramp was blocked from Delmar to North 170. Now it looks like traffic's getting on, but they have the right lane blocked just past that point. North 170, this is just north of Delmar, so traffic's a solid jam back through Ladue now. And so the incident continues. I just saw another, I think it's police vehicle pull up here, so I'm not sure what's going on, but there is a backup. Those 64 ramps to North 270 are a little backed up as well. Otherwise, the area interstates don't look bad. Northbound Telegraph, some heavy traffic, especially Christopher up to Herb looks pretty solid. And southbound 55, that's approaching Route 4, where we've got delays coming out of Livingston. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Time for the Friday edition of Hancock and Kelly.
You two belong together.
John Hancock, Michael Kelly on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Happy Friday, John Hancock.
Back at you, big boy. It's a great Friday morning.
Buddy, this is like 2 weeks in a row of just unbelievable weather.
Yeah.
And it's been spectacular. I went to the game on Wednesday.
You did?
I think it was 49 degrees
It was
when I
cold.
got there.
Chilly.
I started thinking about opening day. You remember that? Back in, what was that, March?
Yeah.
It was 92 degrees.
Yeah.
What's going on with the weather?
It's crazy.
It is crazy. Did you stay up last night and watch that Cardinal game?
I did, much to my chagrin. It's way past my
What do you
bedtime.
mean? We won.
Well, we
What's
did.
your
It was a
chagrin?
great game, a quick game.
Yeah, it was.
And, the bullpen, 3 shutout innings to close that thing off, 2-1 Cardinal victory. And, this team's 7 games over 500. And as I may have predicted before the season began, that this team was going to be much better than all the pundits out there were predicting.
Listen, an easy prediction for you to make. But
not an easy prediction.
You were spot on, and I'm
Thank you.
proud of you.
Thank you.
I think
Thank
I told you this last week. I've watched and listened to more games already this year than I did the whole last year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a fun team. They're trying
exciting.
hard. They're stealing bases.
2 more hits for the MVP last night.
Here's my prediction.
Jordan Walker.
You have predicted Jordan Walker is going to win the MVP.
I did.
You will be wrong about that one, but I hope you're right. But I'll tell you what, this JJ Weatherhold, man, he's the future. This guy's the real deal.
Yes.
He looks like a ball player.
Well, he is a ball player.
No, but I mean like a world-class ball player.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Mike Trout when he's out there running
don't
around
say.
and stuff. Yeah.
Huh.
Am I crazy with that thought?
Well, it's a little premature, but
well, isn't it premature to say that Jordan Walker would win the MVP?
You just wait. 45 homers, 112 RBIs.
Was it premature when the president of the United States said this war will be over in 2 weeks?
Yes.
How about when he said that it'll be over in 2 weeks after that 2 weeks?
Yeah.
And
look, this thing has been mishandled from the get-go.
Should it have ever have happened?
No.
Okay.
And, if the still not exactly clear on what the objective was, but if the objective was to stem their nuclear program, you put together a coalition of countries and impose massive economic sanctions. We're already sitting on billions and billions of dollars of their assets, and now to get out of this thing, we're probably going to have to give that money over.
Wasn't that what everybody was upset
With Obama.
Barack Obama?
Yes, it is.
Why isn't there outrage about that?
Well, I mean, I don't know if folks are paying attention, but, I think to go into this thing, this had been war gamed for decades prior. In fact, one of the classified documents that Donald Trump kept at Mar-a-Lago was a bombing plan
of Iran
for Iran.
Uh-huh.
And the war gaming on this always showed that Iran's response would be to block the Strait of Hormuz and to bomb U.S. allies in the region. Both of those things happened, and it seems like it caught us by surprise. Should never have caught us by surprise. And so here we sit, a couple months in, and
almost 3, right?
Yeah, it was the very end of February when we got into this thing. And
2 weeks.
Yeah. And I don't see how we extricate ourselves from this without losing.
Well,
and just an unforced error that's had global implications, economic implications. Every single person in the country, unless you own an electric car like some people I know, is feeling it. And well, even if you own an electric car, you're feeling it at the grocery store because everything has to get transported somewhere.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's just,
Is that not part of the problem that the Republicans face in this upcoming election? I mean, Donald Trump said,
Gonna be
hey,
ugly.
look, I'm going to stop all these wars. I'm going to bring prices down. Well, he started wars. Prices are going up as a direct result of what he's done.
It's going to be ugly. There's no question. I mean, you just look at what's happened in the intervening last year and a half of all the elections that have taken place. Every seat that has flipped from one party to another has gone from Republican to Democrat in the country. Every single one. And yet, Donald Trump's influence, impact, and importance in Republican primaries has never been greater.
Right.
You see what happened in Indiana with those races. And both of those things are concurrently happening. Trump clearly has a hold of the Republican Party and the Republican electorate. And he clearly is leading the party to what I think is going to be an electoral train wreck come November.
The Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, who's in his last governmental job, because, I think he's ruined his reputation going forward. I don't think he's got a chance to be president. I don't understand why he took this job. He went over there to be the guy who would be on bended knee to try to get along with Pope Leo, who's obviously one of the most popular people in the country.
Don't you find it interesting that they sent Rubio and not J.D. Vance, who converted to Catholicism?
Well, Marco Rubio is a Catholic as well, and a staunch, strong Catholic. And I really think it comes down to the rhetoric that's used and the way that Marco Rubio communicates as opposed to J.D. Vance. I mean, I think what Donald Trump likes about J.D. Vance is he's a reflection of Donald Trump.
Right.
Kind of that in-your-face, sassy, almost frat boy-like communication. That's not what you get from Marco Rubio.
Right.
And yesterday you saw, I mean, obviously there were some disagreements between the Pope and Marco Rubio and the direction that the United States is going. But I thought that Marco Rubio handled it quite diplomatically, saying, hey, look, we understand that the Holy See has these thoughts.
Right.
Can you remember a time during a war like this that the Vatican / the Holy See played such a large role in the dialogue that's taking place around this war? Of course, popes have always been opposed to war.
Right.
They've always been opposed to nuclear. And in fact, the Holy See participates in the Nuclear Proliferation Agreement. They've always been against the use of and the growth of nuclear weapons. Yet I don't ever remember them being treated almost as an equal as it comes to the world dialogue on what should be happening.
Well, it's unique because the pontiff is an American, and that's never happened in 2,000 years, right? It just never happened. So I think it's a very unique situation. And Donald Trump is a very unique president. There's never been one quite like him. And so, you're going to have things that have never happened before happening, and that's part and parcel of what we're all living through right now.
Well, we're going to talk about some of those things that have never happened before, including redistricting and what's happening across the country after this on the Mighty Mighty Mocs.
Battlehawks fans, get ready. Friday, May 8th at 7 p.m. It's St. Louis versus the Columbus Aviators. It's Friday Night Lights. Get your tickets at UFLBattlehawks.com. United, we battle.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back to the Hancock and Kelly Show. I stopped by Starbucks this morning. I was up late watching that Cardinal game. I don't normally drink coffee.
You don't drink coffee?
No, I gave it up after what COVID. I was drinking too much of it. It wasn't good for my heart.
Well, there you go.
But this morning I went and got one of those frozen drinks, right? You know what I'm talking about, the blended ones. So it's more of a shake than it is a coffee, to be honest with you.
All right.
And I went and got
Starbucks.
what do they call it? Frappuccino. By the way, the words that they use at Starbucks are so ridiculous. So I pull up and I say to the person, could I have a large Frappuccino, skinny, no whipped cream? And they immediately say to me, do you mean a Venti Grande something or another? Now, Starbucks is on every street corner like a McDonald's. I mean, it's a part of Americana.
I don't like it.
What are we doing with these stupid names? I mean, who knows what Venti Grande, Demi, Trente even mean?
Well, somebody came up with that in the marketing department. What infuriates me,
okay,
is that what they call a small,
right,
is larger than what they call Demi. And so you get a small, you go in and say, I can get me a small coffee. Which when you say that at McDonald's,
They give you a small coffee.
You get a small coffee.
Right.
But when you say it at Starbucks, they give you
a medium.
Yeah. It's bigger than the Demi. It's now, it's not, I don't like it.
And it's snobbish. I feel like when I go there, first of all, you're a fast food restaurant, one of the biggest ones now in the country, and for that matter, on the planet. And you're trying to have this snobbish effect. Most people don't understand these words. And, for the casual user like myself, we're wasting an extra 20, 30 seconds in ordering because I don't know what size I want. I wanted it a large.
Well, and I will say this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got 6 different size cups at that place.
Yeah.
That's a lot of choices.
What's your Starbucks order? Small coffee.
Yeah. Small coffee, And then it's, do you want Bold or Pike or blah, 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 blah. I don't care.
Right.
Just coffee.
Give
I just
me
want
the
coffee.
caffeine. That's all I need.
And leave room for the half and half that I have to put in myself.
Yeah. Well, how's that work when you go through the drive-through? Do you tell them put a little half and half in there?
I never have gone through the drive-through.
At a Starbucks?
I have never gone through a Starbucks drive-through.
Yeah. The one that I stopped in on the way here, I think the only way you can order from it is at the drive-through. Hey, speaking of drive-through, the Republicans are driving through the South and redistricting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw what happened yesterday in Tennessee as a direct result of the Supreme Court ruling last week about you can't necessarily draw majority districts, which had always kind of been a staple of redistricting and protection of minority rights over the last 4 or 5 decades since the passing of the voter rights legislation under LBJ.
Yep, 65.
That's all been rolled back now, and as a result, we're going to see a lot of districts, including one in Memphis that has got 50% African American in it, be diluted now, so that's not the case. It will be Republican, a part of President Trump's efforts, but doing away with minority representation. I don't think this is a smart move.
Well, I don't think the politics of it are smart. I mean, I've been involved in 3 different redistricting efforts in Missouri, and it was always our plan to take the 1st congressional district in St. Louis City, and which had to expand into St. Louis County, and to draw that district so that it was an 80+% Democrat district and a majority African-American district.
And your motive was, let's pack as many Democrats as we can in there.
So
in
that
particular African-Americans, they tend to vote Democrat.
Right. So we could then draw the rest of the state to be as pro-GOP as possible. That had always been the political motivation. My fear or concern, I don't know if fear is the right word, my concern here is that if you take and start dispensing these Democratic pockets into multiple districts, you're potentially threatening the ability, especially in a bad year, which this is going to be for Republicans. You're potentially threatening to lose a whole lot more seats than you think you're going to gain here. And I think the whole political gambit to do what Republicans are doing could very well blow up in our face and result in losing even more seats than we would have lost otherwise.
Yeah, but John, many people in your party would say, hey, the Democrats do this too. Go look at Illinois. They've got a district that goes from, here outside of St. Louis all the way up to Springfield.
Yep.
My fear is now that we're doing this in the South, what's to keep in Illinois,
Nothing.
Massachusetts from saying, okay, the 1 or 2 Republican seats we have, we're going to do the same thing. And now we have districts where you have people representing the city of Memphis all the way down to the farther western part of the state where these people don't have anything in common. How do urban areas or rural areas get represented if we're drawing these districts solely for the outcome of a party?
Right. And there's long been held through jurisprudence that communities of interest have a priority when you're drawing congressional lines. And that's not part of the Voting Rights Act. That's coming out of stare decisis, a bunch of Supreme Court decisions over many, many years. And how this is all going to work, I don't know. And we're already in a situation in this country where 47 of the 50 states have both senators from the same political party.
Wow.
That's never happened in the history of the country before. And now if you're going to take these states and have them be monolithic on their congressional delegations, that's just not good. It's not healthy.
No, it's also not good to have just two males in the room. I think we need some female energy in here, don't you?
Never hurts.
Let's step aside and we'll bring in Miss Amy Markscourse for the Chris and Amy show.
And you're sticking around for the whole 3 hours.
MSK right here on KMOX.
Nice.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health.